everybody. Today we are debating flat Earth versus globe Earth, and we're starting right now. Ladies and gentlemen, we are thrilled to have you here for this epic debate, as this is going to be very fun, folks. This is one that will go down in the record books. It's going to be a memorable debate, and want to let you know, though, if it's your first time here, consider hitting that subscribe button, as we have many more debates coming up in the future. For example, you'll see at the bottom right of your screen, Fight the Flat Earth and Team Skeptic will be taking on Standing for Truth and John Maddox on the topic of evolution. So that should be a lot of fun. That's coming up this month. And also, want to let you know, we're a nonpartisan channel, so we're like, hey, we strongly believe that for us, we don't make any statements. We are just trying to present an equal playing field for people to come on and make their case, and then it's up to you, the audience, to decide who you think is more persuasive. So with that, want to let you know as well, I've put all of the speakers' links down in the description. So that way, if you're listening and you're like, I like that, there is plenty more to hear where that came from if you click on those links that I put down there for you folks. Now, for tonight's debate, it's fairly flexible, where we are going to, this is embarrassing, forgive me guys, do I remember right that it's like roughly 12-ish minutes from each side, and then open discussion? Do I remember that right?
Oh, that's fine.
Sounds good.
Excellent. Everyone is well pleased with that. So we will do that. And so I am very excited, folks. If you have a question, feel free to fire your question into the old live chat. And if you tag me with @ModernDayDebate, it makes it easier for me to be sure I get every single question in that list. Super Chat is also an option. If you do Super Chat, you basically can either do a question or a comment toward one of the speakers. And we, of course, ask that you be your regular friendly selves. So also with Super Chats, it'll push them to the top of the list for the Q&A, so yours will be asked earlier. So want to say thanks so much to our guests, though. The guests, the debaters, are what make the channel fun. So we are thrilled to have these guys here. I want to say to each and every one of you, MC Toon, Steven, Nathan, and Austin, thank you guys so much for being here. It's a pleasure to have all of you.
Pleasure to be here.
Glad to have you. Yeah, thanks.
Absolutely. And so with that, is it the Globers or the Flat Earthers that are going first?
Glover's positive claim it's a spinning, tilted testicle in space. We'll let him go first.
All right. Well, I will start, and then Stephen has something. So I have for today a special page on my website, mctoon.net/MDD for modern day debates. So all the evidence I post, I'll put on there. And all the claims I make, I'll put on there. It's already got a couple things. I'll start with a quote from Austin. You said, when you make a positive claim, you have the burden of proof. Completely agree. So I know you agree, Austin. Stephen does, and Nathan is. I assume you take that stance as well.
I'm not paying attention to what you're saying, McToon. Go ahead.
Oh, super. Okay. Well, then that'll make it harder for you, but fine.
So representing evidence, that's what I'm going to pay attention to. I don't want you to assume what I believe or what my stance is.
Well, that's why
to make an argument for your tilted ball.
So can I ask you then?
That's what the back and forth.
With Austin.
We're going to go back.
Agree with Austin.
It is his
this
opening.
Is the part where you
Nathan,
open and present evidence
for
your
opening.
testicle.
Nathan, you have to let him speak for his opening now.
Asking us questions, okay? And so I'm responding.
He's going back into his opening statement.
Great.
So I will ask you again, do you agree with Austin, who said, when you make a positive claim, you have the burden of proof?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So just as some foundational things I have on my website there, this isn't the evidence. I'll get into that in a second. I just four things. Earth's rotation has been measured. Sorry, the radius of the Earth has been measured. The law of gravitational attraction has been measured. The rotation of the Earth has been measured, and the effects of atmospheric refraction have been measured. So speaking of the rotation of the Earth, I don't know, is Bob in there? But, James, maybe Bob would be interested in a debate on your channel with me, maybe mid-July. What do you say, Bob? Anyway, so I got those. Those are the four just kind of foundational things. So when I talk about those things, I've already presented the evidence supporting them. So if you don't agree with them, then the evidence has been there, and you'll need to refute that before you can just say it doesn't exist, because I've provided the evidence. So Nathan, you probably know this. I will do what we talked about with Russian vids, that the sun, could it ever set if the Earth is flat? So everything I'm about to do is assuming flat Earth. So on the December solstice, I measured the angle to the sun at local solar noon. I found it to be 23.54 degrees. I could show you the measurements of that, but doesn't matter a whole lot. Anybody can do that. That's what I got. And the cool thing then is we know the distance from 45 degrees north, where I did it, down to the Tropic of Capricorn, where Nathan and Austin, you've both have said the sun does circles. It goes over the Tropic of Cancer, goes over the Tropic of Capricorn, it goes back and forth, right? So we know how far that is, because 1 degree of latitude is 60 nautical miles. That's actually the definition of 60 nautical miles. So, and then we can convert between nautical miles and miles. So we know that the distance is, let's see, 45 degrees north all the way down to 23.5 degrees south, gives us 4,731 miles. So that's how far I was from the subsolar point, and assuming flat Earth, that's just a big flat thing, right? So I'm going to share my screen here in a second. So let me get that ready for you. So, oh, that didn't work.
Also, want to let you know, folks, we are excited.
So, I won't share it right now. I'll stick with that and not complicate it. So, we know that distance, we know the angle, and we can calculate perspective then to find out the elevation of the sun based on the angle and the distance that we know. Things that are well known. So let me get that back up. Oh my goodness, I lost it. So the elevation of the sun using just 7th grade math, 1,972 miles. I measured that myself, assuming flat Earth, right? Now, later in the day, at local solar nadir, right? That'd be the middle of the night when the sun is on the farthest point away from me on flat Earth, on the other side of the North Pole, over the Tropic of Capricorn. We can do the same math, calculating the number of degrees latitude you have to go over, multiplying by 60 nautical miles, converting to miles, and we get 10,942 miles. So we can use that distance and the elevation of the sun I already measured to get, due to perspective, the elevation of the sun over flat Earth in the middle of the night. That gives us 10.3041 degrees above true level due to perspective. That's the lowest that the sun could ever appear on flat Earth due to perspective. Now, I did take into account refraction, and I'll put the details on my website here. As soon as I'm done, I'll paste that in. So refraction raises the view of the sun by a small amount. So I put both of those in, and that will be included in my numbers, where I came out with 10.3041 degrees above true level, which would be sometimes called eye level. In the middle of the night, on that day, the sun was not 10 degrees above the horizon, above true level. Therefore, the Earth is not flat. Stephen?
Yeah. Here we go with the cartooning, clowning stuff from Nathan. I love it. cracks me up.
Yeah. Oh, if I can add just one thing, if you disagree with my math, don't just say it's wrong. I expect to show that you'll show me what's wrong. You'll give me the correct math that predicts where the sun will be and where it sets and all that stuff. So, all right, go ahead, Stephen.
Okay, 3 main points. One, I want you all to try to understand that the Earth is really, really big. It seems like none of you flat earthers can understand that. 2, I don't understand why you think space is not a thing, considering people have been to it. We have went to the moon, and we have people on the ISS. Red Trader has proved that the ISS exists. You have to accept his math or prove it wrong. If you can't do that, then accept it. Lastly, for some ungodly reason, y'all, well, I don't think Austin does, but Nathan, I know definitely does, believes that there's this magical dome for a container. Well, if there's this magical dome, why has no one ever seen it, proven it, or went to it? The fact that we have a pressure gradient that goes all the way up to 0 from 14.7 at sea level proves that we do not have a container. If we were in a container, the pressure would equalize. That's all I need to say.
Thank you very much. We will kick it over to our flat Earth guests. So Nathan and Austin.
Excellent.
James, I yield my time to him.
You betcha. And the floor is all yours,
James, you're
Nathan
muted.
and Austin.
All right. Well, I'm your new host of the show. We're going to start with Flat Earthers argument. Austin, would you like to start, or Nathan, would you?
I don't care, bro.
All right. We'll let you start. Go ahead, brother. I'll go right after you.
James is talking.
No, it's okay. You guys are all set.
That's
the
great.
floor is all yours, Nathan and Austin.
All right, so yeah, McToon, you can't just presuppose solidity of the sun. You don't know the characteristics of the sun. You certainly don't know the attenuation properties between you and the sun. So boom, math done. Presuppositions. And then to the other guy's point, we've been to the moon. That's crazy. I don't know how you know that. We take an empirical approach, meaning verifiable as an independently verifiable. We don't make a habit of trusting provably fraudulent sources like the government, who openly and admittedly consistently lies. So for anything to do with you presupposing space, which defies the second law of thermodynamics, you should try to, propose something that is independently verifiable, as opposed to expecting us to just accept or appeal to authority. And then again, you brought up the container. Well, the necessary antecedent to gas pressure is containment. And we've never been able to get past 70 miles. If you look at the military documents, they all stop right around that height. So we're not legally allowed to try to go there. I'm not sure if you're aware of that. And 70 miles is past what they say is the brink of space at the Kármán line. So typically what we run across is Globers don't actually know their own religion. They presuppose reifications and then act as if that shows us that the Earth's a magic spinning cartoon ball brought to you by Jesuits. So very simply, and I always say this, and McDoon said it hilariously enough, positive claims have the burden of proof. The globe Earth is a positive claim of specificity. It claims metrics, right? Very specific metrics: circumference, radius, axial rotation, 15 degrees, right? Like speed of rotation at the equator. This is a very specific.
I did cite all those. So you go.
Very specific positive claim. So you have the burden of proof. What Globers do is shift the burden of proof to some strongman model because they don't understand the simplicity and the idea that the falsification of the globe Earth model that they are proponents of is independent of a replacement model. We simply don't have all the information to know exactly what the Earth is. It's called the intellectually honest position. And no, actually, you have to presuppose the solidity and characteristics of the sun, and you have to also know the distance.
No, I'm sorry, it was rotation. Yeah,
this is his opener, okay? McToon, pipe down.
Yeah. So you have to assume solidity and characteristics of the sun, and you would have to know the attenuation properties, thus the medium intricacies of how it differentiates from you to said sun, So all of your math is just a human construct. You should describe your presupposition. So it's not impressive. Math describes, science explains. Your entire fairy tale religion is void of scientific empirical evidence. So again, in conclusion, it's very simple. The burden of proof lies with the globe Earth. It's a positive claim of specificity, thus it has the burden of proof. Specificity, you cannot shift the burden of proof to a strawman model. Indeed, that makes the arithmetic spinning cartoon ball. That's it.
Excellent, guys. I just want to point out, if you do a little independent research on what these tilted heliocentric priests will tell you, this is all cartoons, guys. The pictures of the South Pole, cartoons, pictures of satellites in space, cartoons, pictures of the sun, pictures of the core of the Earth, pictures of the Earth. These are all cartoons. It is a cartoon religion. Now, thank you, James, for hosting, and also McToon, I want to thank you for being here, and Stephen, and my legend of a partner, Austin. Guys, it's going to be a good show. Austin and I are globe earthers' worst nightmares. Before they go to bed, they look under the bed for us to check and make sure that Austin and Nathan are not there. So we're going to smoke them like finely imported Cuban cigars in this debate. They have absolutely nothing to bring to the table. I mean, the gentleman started with assuming a flat earth and then did math. How is that your evidence or your argument that we live on a spinning, tilted ball? You're going to say, it's been measured, it's been measured, it's been measured, it's been measured. And then you're going to assume a flat earth and talk about what you think the sun is and how far away you think it is based on math. Okay, that's not proof. You live on a spinning ball. Stephen's arguments, really, he said they need to understand how big it is. Okay, we know exactly how big you guys tell us it is. 24,900 miles around, 3959 on the radius. They say those are the measurements. But the problem is there is no downward Earth curve at all, period. So if you guys don't know who I am, my name is Nathan Thompson. I run the official Flat Earth and Globe discussion, 130,000 members in the group. We don't allow cursing or insults. We do have 24,000 people on our block list, so don't come in there thinking you're not going to propose and submit firsthand science. That doesn't fly. We don't allow globe preaching in the group. I personally have ran into NASA employees, PhD astrophysicists, land surveyors. I try to debate them. They usually end up running away like I pulled their pants down, because the globe is a cartoon religion. It's not supported by facts. It's supported by falsehoods. It is a spiritual deception under the disguise of science, okay? It is religious dogma, and the truth is incontrovertible. Malice will attack it, ignorance will try and deride it, but in the end, there it is. And an honest man, not like my opponents, but an honest man, when proven to be wrong, must either admit he is wrong or he no longer remains to be an honest man. Now, I don't want to be a flat earther. I don't know anyone that actually is like gung-ho about being a flat earther. It comes with a lot of ostracism and ridicule. And quite frankly, I don't care what the shape of the earth is. I just want to know the truth. So I've been seeking the truth for 5 years. I've been gathering evidence from the members in my group. Nobody can prove downward earth curve. Nobody can prove the earth spins 1,000 miles an hour. And as I pointed out earlier, space is a cartoon religion. Now, when I first heard about flat earth, I thought PhD was on something, okay? And then I heard from a gentleman I've been studying applied neuroscience with for 8 years, and he's the smartest guy I'd ever ran into. And he'd been looking into it for 7 months. So I started doing my own research. I went out and purchased multiple Nikons. I traveled to Salt Lake City, New York, Chicago. I've been to the Lake Pontchartrain in Louisiana. I've done all my own tests. Now, as you can see clearly, my opponents have done pretty much nothing. And that was evident in their opening. But a lot of people are going to ask why this matters and why this is important. And guys, I had to decide what kind of fool I was going to be. We're all put into this globe matrix, and a matrix is a mold. We're all poured into this mold as kids and taught that we live on a spinning, tilted testicle in space that exploded from nothing. And then the pond scum evolved into monkeys, and then the monkeys eventually became men. That's the story. That's what they teach in mainstream science. So it's not your fault you believe the Earth's a globe unless you deny the truth once it's presented to you. I mean, and I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to be that kind of fool that gets presented the truth and then just denies it and says, no, I'm going to believe the lies. And then I have to support this satanic math and cartoon cosmology like my opponents here. So heliocentrism is nothing more than religious dogma masquerading as science, and Mick Cartoon and Stephen are just parrots of that religious dogma. And speaking against that lie that has become an orthodox belief brings with it a responsive attack from the high priest and the followers of that cult religion who spring into action to protect the errors in their science. So hence why Mick Cartoon and his partner are here. So-called scientists like Mick Cartoon and his partner here are more akin to witch doctors who mesmerize the tribe with their superstitious belief in booga booga nonsense. That's what it is, straight up. We can get into the science. I know I spent a lot of time talking about my background. I feel like a lot of people sometimes might hear what I'm saying, but they don't listen. Okay, you got to listen to the words that I'm saying. And so I specialize in the science, and the Bible clearly depicts a flat stationary earth. And if that's wrong, guys, that undermines a lot of the credibility and all the other provisions in the gospel. And so this is one of the reasons I think it's so important. The heliocentric fable of a spinning tilted testicle orbiting a giant fireball creates a misunderstanding of God's creation. To misunderstand God's creation creates a naturally associated misunderstanding of the God and who he is. So God has shown man his character through creation. And if man has a misunderstanding of God's creation, he will ipso facto have a misunderstanding of who God is. And if he believes in a creation that doesn't exist, he also believes in a creator that doesn't exist. So it's essential to have an accurate understanding of creation. That's why I do these debates. There are two groups of people, guys, people that God is calling to him through truth and his word, and people that God is not calling to him with truth and his word. It says, those who have eyes to see will see. Those who have ears to hear will hear. And guys, I've debated them all. NASA employees, land surveyors, PhD astrophysicists. It's going to be like shooting fish in a barrel. So let's get started with the back and forth. But if I still have time, James, do I still have time?
Short, very short amount of time.
Excellent. So he said, where's your evidence of the globe, McToon? You just basically the whole time assumed a flat earth, told everyone to go to your website, and then did some math about how the sun doesn't work on a flat earth. And then the other gentleman says it's really, really, really big. So your argument is, we know it's a globe because it looks so flat. Cool story. Then he says, space is real, guys. People have been to space. Only 500 people out of all the countries have ever been to space. And by the way, I just showed it's all cartoons. So if you think they traveled to Narnia because people told you that they went there, well, I'm sorry, Stephen, but you're gullible. And then he said, a magical dome and nobody's seen it. I mean, what do you mean nobody's seen it? We have sundogs and halos, sprites, mushroom clouds, atmospheric pressure, star trails. The sky is a map and a clock. What do you mean nobody's ever seen it? Have you ever gone outside at night and looked up? Okay, so this is a joke. This really is a joke. I'm really excited for the back and forth. Let's get it started.
Gotcha. We will jump into the open dialogue then. Want to say thanks so much, everybody, for your questions, and we will let her rip. So here we go.
So I did present evidence. Actually, you didn't look at it. It's on my website, mc2.net/mdd. I presented as background the measurements of the radius of the Earth, the law of gravitational attraction.
Wait. Can we do one thing at a time? Wait.
There's just four. I'll just give you these four: the measurement of Earth's rotation and the measurements of atmospheric effects. That was the base layer of everything. Then I did an experiment. I went out and I did my own measurements and tested to see if the Earth could be flat, and found that it could not. So that was what I did.
And looking at the sun.
Absolutely. Yep.
Oh, okay. So instead of looking at the floor, McToon, to find out if the floor is flat, you looked at the sun and did some math. Wow.
Yes, absolutely. So
have you ever considered looking at the floor instead of the sun?
Sure, I have, but that was the one that I chose for today because it was something that we spoke of in November.
Oh, okay.
Right?
So yeah, you don't think
there's a lot. There's a lot of them. So here's the thing, though. I presented evidence with a ton of links. If people are on the website right now, they're seeing all the evidence that I presented. And so far, you've claimed
just told people to go to your website
a whole bunch of,
and then said on the website that you measured the radius. How did you measure the radius, McToon?
Let's give McToon plenty of time to respond now.
I didn't measure I cited measurements of the radius. Right.
You haven't cited anything. You cited your website.
Yeah, it's on my website.
Okay, what's the evidence that's on your website? Since I'm not going to your website and this is a debate and you're here to present evidence for your cartoon tilted testicle you believe in that's spinning in the background of your room.
Wait, actually, McToon, what is the radius?
What is the radius?
Yeah.
6,356, 6,003,000. Oh my gosh. I'll do it in kilometers for you, right? 6,356 kilometers.
Okay. Yeah. I know. I just wanted to know if you knew.
It's right on the website.
So how much curvature downward from the shoreline in all directions, if we're on a ball, McToon, would that produce? Let's say over 1 mile.
Well, you go ahead and figure that out if you need. I don't know why that matters.
Oh, okay. Well,
so
one of my arguments was that you just looked at the sky to figure out what the floor is, and then I asked.
Yeah, and so what's
the floor, and you
what's wrong? What's wrong with looking at the sky? Why can triangulation not do something?
It's just a funny place to start, because if I was going to try and figure out what the floor is, I would look at the floor first, McToon, and please stop trying to interrupt me. I'll let you say everything you want to say, and then just let me talk when you're done. Go ahead.
So, that's the problem. The reason that we look at the sky is because the Earth is really, really big. We can't do all those measurements off the Earth if you're wanting to look and triangulate stuff to get the measurements. Sure, I can look at the floor for a short distance, but that short distance doesn't produce what you're looking for.
Stephen,
hey, you keep saying the Earth is really, really big. Do you know how big it is?
Roughly 25,000 miles in circumference.
Okay. And if we're on a ball 24,901 miles around in circumference, since McToon can't answer, how much drop should we see after 1 mile in inches or feet?
Roughly 7.7 inches.
7.7 inches. So almost 2/3 of a foot in 1 mile.
But see, that's your problem. You're still looking in inches and miles and stuff like that. What you need to do is look in degrees.
You just told me inches. You said it was 7.7 inches. Great. And does that get? And then he wants to go into degrees.
Let's let him finish, Nathan.
A drop that can be measured in inches or feet, tangent to your feet.
Let's give him plenty of time to respond now.
You're still going with the 8 inches per mile squared, right? That's your curvature math. Unfortunately, that still does not map out a globe. And you still haven't got that through your head. I've seen you in many debates, and people have told you that that is not right. Why do you keep going back to it?
Stephen, you just told me that the drop after 1 mile would be 7.7 inches, and then tried to tell me
that only works for a short distance, Nathan. And you still don't get that.
You can interrupt me too. You don't like hearing when I speak the truth,
yes,
Stephen?
I will interrupt you.
Dude, you're interrupting.
Nathan, you did ask him a question, to be fair.
This whole intro, so.
Okay, so I'm wrong about 8 inches, but you're right about 7.7 inches.
You're still looking at a short scale.
You just gave
Hey, man, if the Earth is a ball, okay, it has to have a curve, bro, okay? It's the necessitation of the geometry of a spherical Earth. This isn't debatable. You can't just say, it's big, and Henway dismiss it. There's a necessitation of a physical obstruction known as a geometric horizon. We know the rate. It causes obstruction. So it being big is irrelevant to that problem that you have.
Yeah, it could be really big and flat, or really big and a globe. But you haven't presented any evidence for either. So
we have.
Kuhn has assumed a flat Earth and then talked about the sun. Okay, so no, you haven't measured Earth's radius. Earth's center is allegedly 9,000 degrees hotter than the surface of the sun. How did you get down there to measure it, McToon?
Are you not aware of other ways of measuring things? This isn't elementary school, Nathan. People can measure things in other ways than just bringing a tape measure to it. That's how adults function, man.
Really?
So
What'd you do?
Quiet. I'm talking. I'm talking. Okay.
Nathan was
So-
gonna respond.
So to measure the radius of the Earth, there's a lot of ways that people have done it. So I can bring up the actual document that I really like. It's the principal arcs of the meridian, the parallel and the oblique arcs. It's called the transcontinental triangulation and the American arc of the parallel. Right. So this is a measurement of the radius of the Earth. Okay.
Are you going to go into detail on that, or just read us?
Sure. Well, it's a detailed 1,000-page document that they did.
Summarize it for us, Mick Cartoon.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Could you ad hom me a little more there, buddy? So they measured the arc across the United States on the 39th latitude, and they used a meridian from Canada all the way down to Mexico, a line of longitude all the way down to Mexico. And they use those measurements, the distance that they got from that, right? And they use that with celestial positioning at both points, as well as both ends, as well as several points along the measurement there, to make sure that their measurements were correct. These were land surveyors. So they did that. It's complicated. And they came out with the radius. Now, here's the cool thing. People did it in India. People did it in the UK. People have done it in South America. And they get the same numbers.
Hey, McToon, you said they measured the arc across the United States. How are people in India and people in the UK measuring the arc across the United States? And also, how did they do that?
They measured it across their country, of course, not across the United States.
Oh, okay. And so how did they measure the arc across the 3,000 mile across the United States, buddy?
I told you they got the point on one side, right? They used celestial navigation to pinpoint their position on one side. They did the same on the other side.
The sky to measure
Absolutely, yeah.
arc.
Yeah. Now, is there evidence that? Do you have evidence that the sky could not be used to measure the Earth?
I asked you how they measured the radius of the Earth, and then you're going to tell me they measured across the United States using the sky to determine the measurement for the center of the Earth. Do you realize how big your clown shoes have to be and how red your nose is right now, dude? Are you joking?
I'm sorry, Nathan. This is how adults measure things?
Is this a joke?
No, it's not.
You can't measure anything. That's called a deduction.
Hold on. I'm responding. Austin, zip it. I'm responding. Okay. This is how adults do it.
It's a debate.
Nathan, Nathan, we got to give him a chance to respond, Nathan.
Okay. Go ahead, make cartoon.
So if you don't like it, if you think there's an error in it, you're welcome to look at it. I've already provided you the link. Austin, I provided you the link months ago. You probably didn't look at it, right? This is how people that are professionals do it. That was awesome.
Can I save some time, McCune?
So a refutation of it isn't just hand waving and zero evidence. It would be actual information, finding flaws in their measurements, not just saying, I don't like it. It's the wrong way to do it. It's presupposing blah, blah. No, actual finding the issues, the problems, the methodology problems, and pinpointing them in an intellectual way. So far, you just have hand waving. So go ahead.
So I'll respond now. Okay. So for anyone that's watching and isn't a moron, they understand that you actually don't even understand what you're invoking right now. You just say it's 1,000 pages and you think that's going to woo someone, but it doesn't. And so we've already pointed out the issues. You're depending on the celestial alignments to measure across the United States and then presupposing the nature of those celestial alignments and the nature of the Earth, and then confining that into said measurements that were derived from presuppositions. So that's correct. I don't have to find some type of issue with the way that you mathematically deduced that, because the foundation requires the presupposition of the very nature of the Earth, which is in question.
Yeah. And so when we asked Mick Cartoon about his measurements for the radius of the Earth, and he says things, guys, like, well, there are a lot of ways to do it. What he means is there's a lot of ways to presuppose the floor and presuppose what the sky is, and then do math and pretend that that tells you how deep the center of the Earth is. But that's not a measurement. That's a deduction. And it's really just evidence and proof that McToon is scientifically illiterate or lying and thinks you guys are all that stupid. Okay, straight up.
All right, so I'll just put you down for no evidence presented on your record.
Oh, this is your positive claim of evidence, okay? And I'm saying if it required the presupposition of the very
reverse the burden of
claim to prove, then it is invalid.
You're trying to reverse the burden of proof in the cartoon, and that's not going to work because it's your claim.
You didn't even look at the evidence presented. So thank you very much.
It's a 1,000-page document that you stumbled to summarize, and when you summarized it, you said they looked at the sky, decided what the floor is, and then did math to the center of the earth. Bro,
so do you have
with two brain cells
evidence
together knows that's a joke.
We are going to Nathan. Let's give him some time now to respond.
So do you have evidence that would not work, Nathan? You just mock using that method, but you didn't present evidence. You claimed that it won't work. That's your positive claim, but then you didn't present evidence that it would not work. You just
How do you know the distances of the lights in the sky, the celestial alignment, McToon?
You don't need to know the distances.
How do you know the nature of what's in the sky? How do you know it's relative?
Let's give him a chance to answer each question.
So celestial navigation works. So if you don't think that celestial navigation works, there's no discussion with you because it works. I'm not going to bother presenting that. That's pretty silly.
That wasn't my question.
Anyway, yeah, well, you asked a whole bunch of questions of trying to, question the nature of celestial navigation. Sorry, I'm not going to go down that silly place because people have been using it, as Nathan has said, for centuries to navigate, to find their position on the globe.
Let me clarify this maybe a little simpler then, okay? How do you correlate what's in the sky, celestial alignments, to validating your claim of physical curvature on the terrain of the Earth? Just saying they did it, and here's some mathematical constructs based on my presupposition, will only persuade those really wanting to believe in your fairy tale.
Okay, so it sounds like you don't think that celestial navigation works, Austin.
No, that's not what he said. Let me clarify. For centuries, as you stated, they've been navigating with the sky because we are not on a tilted testicle blasting through space. But you claim they determined physical curvature of the Earth based on the stars. Austin wants to know how they did that. Was that clear?
Yeah, so they pinpointed their position on the surface of the Earth using the stars on one side of the country, and on the other side of the country, then they measured that distance between there, right? That gave them the percentage of the arc of the sphere that they're measuring. Multiply that, use sine, cosine, and you get the distance around the equator.
How did they look at two stars above each coast and then measure the distance between them and determine?
That's not what they did.
They
measured their position on one side using celestial navigation techniques. They measured their position on the other side using celestial navigation techniques. Then they measured the distance using surveying techniques, which is not looking at the sky. That's just triangulation, right?
So they use surveying techniques to measure 3,000 miles across the United States?
Absolutely.
Oh, really? And you guys have all that data?
Yes, it's in the book.
3,000 miles across. And what instruments did they use to measure it?
They use theodolites is their main angle measuring device.
Got you. And how far were they able to measure and then stop and reposition their theodolite and then measure and stop and reposition their theodolite?
Well, it is all in the book, but they
I mean, you read it, right?
Some of them, yeah.
In there. We know it's all in there. We know it's 1,000 pages, McToon. I'm asking you for answers.
Yeah. Well, I was giving it to you before you interrupted.
You're telling us it's all in the book.
Let's give him a chance to respond, Nathan.
Let him finish. He'll tell you. I mean, it's that simple.
We're still waiting.
Nathan.
All right, I'll share this here. So let's see here.
He's saying that they drove with theodolites across the United States, guys. I want everyone to hear this.
Yeah, they don't take into account.
That's how surveyors do it. Yeah.
McToon, you have to take into account topography. Theodolites will rely on the presupposition of the horizon being a physical occurrence. In addition to that,
I'm sorry, hold on. They're not measuring the horizon. They're measuring from point to point. You said they're presupposing the horizon.
What are they using to measure it?
They're using theodolites to measure angles from other points, not the horizon. The horizon is not part of it.
Okay, and so what they do is they look in the sky, and then that substantiates your claim of physicality of terra firma being curved.
No, they look in the sky to get their starting point and ending point, right? Once they've got their starting point and ending point, so they know exactly the coordinates that they are on the Earth, then they're not using that anymore. Then they're just using surveying techniques and triangulation.
When it says angles and all that stuff, McToon, are they just talking about the sky?
No, none of this is sky. This is point to point. So you can see here at the top it says big rocks, and then Sims, and then coal. So these are different stations that they're measuring from.
Okay, and then observed angles.
Right, and so here's the angles and the distances in meters. So here's
angles for what? What are the angles for? Are they using more celestial navigation?
I keep telling you they're not looking at the sky. Can you get that through your head? They're not looking at the sky.
Hold on, Nathan.
You said earlier celestial navigation to prove they measured the distance to the center of the Earth. So now to measure the distance to the center of the Earth, guys.
Okay, hold on. This straw manning is a little tough here. They did not measure the distance to the center of the Earth. They're measuring the radius of the Earth. That's a different thing. So if you look here, it says big rocks. And then there's the angle, 50 degrees.
Nathan,
I'm talking.
Nathan.
He just said the radius isn't the distance.
Let's give him a chance to respond.
All right. So big rocks, 50 degrees, 46 minutes, 43.96 seconds. That's the angle between Sims and coal. That's the other 2 points, right? So they measured to Sims, they measured to coal from big rock. So they got that angle. Then they went to Sims and they measured their angle between big rocks and coal. Then they went to coal and measured the angle between big rocks and Sims, right? Now, here's the cool thing, right? If you see over here,
the cool thing is you verified all that.
Hold on, Nathan.
The cool thing would be you verified it.
Let's give him a chance to finish.
No, this is part of the religion, guys. This is the obfuscation.
Yeah.
This is what
you can stop interrupting.
We can't just interrupt.
It's a back and forth debate. And
to be fair, McToon interrupts me 3 times. I talk for 30 seconds.
Let's give him just a little bit longer. I promise we'll come right back to you, Nathan and Austin.
So that's how they measure the triangulation. It's point to point. So these often are on towers or they're on top of hills or something like that, and they measure the angles. Sometimes it's done at night so they can see things, especially the longer distances. So oops, I jumped off of there. The cool thing is all of these triangles have a little thing here where they add up to more than 180 degrees. Every single one of them adds up to more than 180 degrees. You can see this one here. This is a pretty small triangle. It's 0.1 arc seconds, right? I can jump down to some others here that are bigger triangles because across the western part of the United States, when they went mountaintop to mountaintop, because they can do peak to peak stuff like that and get a lot farther. Every one of them is also has more than 180 degrees. Now, here's the deal. On a flat surface, every triangle measures 180 degrees. On a sphere, every triangle measures more than 180 degrees. It's an absolute necessity. So if these added up to 180 exactly, Earth's flat. If they measure more than 180, Earth is not flat.
Hey, McToon.
All of these more than 180 degrees.
Go ahead, Nathan and Austin. Thanks for your patience.
Yeah, have you verified any of this religious scripture you're presenting today, McToon? Or is this all secondhand evidence that they did? Because you keep saying they, and I don't know who they are. I don't trust them.
Is this the genetic fallacy you're going with?
No, I'm going with the, have you verified anything you're saying to the audience, McToon?
I'll go with genetic fallacy there. Yeah, you're just denying evidence.
No, just ignore the question. Ignore the question. It's just numbers on a chalkboard, bro. You think we're stupid? You think we're that gullible? I've been across the U.S. I've been to Salt Lake City.
I have opinions.
I've been to the Salton Sea. I've been to Lake Pontchartrain. I've been to Lake Michigan. They're all flat, measurably flat. You can see Chicago from the other side of Lake Michigan with your eyeballs. I don't need a bunch of guys, they, to tell me where I live. I'm not a globehead. I'm not McToon. I don't point people to my website. I've been doing the research and my own observations for 5 years. Okay?
So you have measurements of flatness.
You're the one who says it's so big it looks flat, bro. You're out of the debate. You don't even have anything to say. Okay.
No, I want to know what your measurements of flatness are. You said you've measured it, so where's your measurement?
You don't measure flatness. You look for curve and realize it's flat. Okay. If the Earth was curving downward, you said out of your globehead mouth, it would be 7.7 inches of drop over 1 mile. Now, does that get exponentially bigger, or is that logarithmic, globehead?
All right. So, do you have actual measurements? Because so
I
far,
was talking to Steven, your partner.
No.
I thought you wanted to say something now.
no evidence presented so
I
far.
want your measurement.
So,
No, geodetic surveying done over Earth, not accounting for topography, relying on the base presupposition of celestial alignment, does not in any way validate your physical claim of curvature, McToon. Mathematical constructs are just that, mathematical constructs. I've seen an equation explaining how Superman can fly. That's such a cool story. We're looking for empirical, verifiable evidence of your claim of physicality of the Earth curving, not mathematical constructs built off presuppositions, not accounting for topography, and then creating it within the confinements of said presuppositions. We addressed this before you went through your whole little
Yep. So
spiel.
everything McToon said, thank you for addressing that, Austin. It's all garbage. Steven, does that get exponentially larger, or is that logarithmic?
I'm still waiting on your measurements. You said you had measurements. I want your measurements.
I told you I went looking for curvature and couldn't find any. You told me the curvature was 7.7 inches. So I'm waiting to hear how much curvature I should have seen, Steven, according to your math.
If you said you had measurements, I want to see your measurements.
Okay, we stood at one side of the Salton Sea. Do you know it's 17 miles from one side of the Salton Sea to the other at the location we were at? So at 17 miles, Stephen, according to your globe Earth curve math, how much downward drop tangent to our feet should we have seen? You said it was 7.7 inches at 1 mile. I assume that gets exponentially bigger because it's a curve. Right, Stephen?
Yeah, but are you accounting for direction?
Are you going to tell us the physical numerical value for Earth drop tangent to our feet if it's 7.7 inches at 1 mile? And
I don't.
Why would it? Hold on.
They're variables.
I'm 17 miles away. How much would Earth drop tangent?
But why would we give you tangent to your feet? That's not what we see.
You're right.
It only makes sense to do what we see.
You're right. We don't see a drop at all. That's what I'm trying to get to.
Okay,
how much
but you're
should we see? Don't obfuscate. I'm talking to Steven. I can talk to you after, McToon, if you want. Steven, how much drop should we see at 17 miles?
I'm not going to answer this because
you're not going to answer because you don't know.
Hold on, Nathan, you gotta let him finish, Nathan.
I want to know your measurements. What are your measurements? You said you took measurements. What are they?
Nathan, you have to let him finish, Nathan.
Back it up.
He's not saying anything. He won't answer my questions, and he just demands that I give him answers.
If you want to argue that he didn't say anything, you can do that. But you got to just let him finish, and then you can come at him.
I'm answering his question, and he doesn't know his own.
You have not answered my question. You have not provided measurements.
I did to this 5 years ago, buddy.
Since when do you have measurements? Because there is no measurements of flatness.
I told you I went looking for curve, and there was no curve. Now, I'm asking you.
Exact words were,
you've asserted that.
It was measurably flat. So, where's your measurements of flatness?
I was at Lake Pontchartrain. I was at the Salton Sea. I was at Lake Michigan.
I don't care where you were.
Okay.
I want your measurement.
Well, you could go ahead, go pull up Google Earth, look at photos from one side of Lake Michigan to the other, and you can see the entire skyline of Chicago from 50 miles. There's also a famous photo called from Joshua Nowicki. Hold on,
let's see it.
I know you want to interrupt. I know you want to interrupt. I know you can't sit there quietly and you have impulse.
Nathan, nobody interrupts more than you, so shut up.
Steven, you don't know how much curve your tilted cartoon testicle should have. You're done. Okay. You say it's really, really, really big.
No, I'm just
That's
holding you
why.
to your claim. You said you had measurements and you don't have any measurements.
No, wait, time out. Hey, Steven, you don't seem to understand. Measurements of flatness. What are you talking about? Okay, you measure distances. If it's flat, you can see over those distances. You would measure the curvature. You do understand that, right?
It's like show me a measurement for no curve. How do you show someone nothing? Okay, I'm telling you the curve isn't there. I ask you how much curve there should be, and you just obfuscate and pretend like I won't answer your questions because you're just a globe Earth crybaby.
Measurements of flatness, that is not how it works, dude. You have a positive claim of physical curve. You have to substantiate that. So stop asking.
We did that. You have the positive claim of flatness. You've not presented any evidence. All you've done is said, I couldn't find it. I was at this lake and this lake and this lake. Where's your citation? Show me the picture. Show me the picture of from Joshua Nowicki where the entire shoreline and Lakeshore Drive is visible.
The entire shoreline and Lakeshore Drive. So still.
That's what you said. You said the entire shoreline is visible.
Are you done?
Let's see the entire shoreline visible from the other side of Lake Michigan.
If I said shoreline, I misspoke. I meant skyline of Chicago.
Oh, the entire skyline.
The skyline, what's the rest of it being obstructed by?
Oh, Steven wants to interrupt. All right. Are you done, Steven?
No, I'm not.
Continue.
Seriously, if you saw the skyline, what was the rest of it obstructed by?
Maybe you're not paying attention, but let me break it down for you, okay? At 50 miles, according to your cartoon globe math, the entire skyline should have been hidden by Earth curve. Physical
I disagree.
Obstruction, Earth curve. All right, McToon, you disagree. At 60 miles, how much should Earth curve?
At
According
60 miles?
to your math.
And what's the observer height?
Love doing. Observer height is 6 feet. We were standing at the shoreline with tripods.
Your feet were wet.
We were standing at the shoreline with tripods.
So your feet were wet, yes or no?
Do your feet have to be wet to stand at the shoreline, or could they be?
Yeah, because the waves would be lapping up there.
Oh,
right?
really? Okay, but lakes don't always have waves, just like they don't have tides, McToon. Sometimes it's a still pond, and then you see what's called a specular reflection, which is a perfect mirror image of what's in the background because the surface is not convex.
Sure. Okay, so let's see this picture. Let's see the picture.
You haven't seen Joshua Nowicki's famous photo?
You said you did
Bring it up. You did it.
Yeah, I did it too. That's all on my YouTube. I mean, you guys can go look it up. You don't believe me? You think I'm lying?
I provided links.
You think I'm
provided
lying?
claims.
You provided
on the
links
news.
to giant PDF documents that you don't even fully understand, and you're banking on the consensus being accurate. Thus, there's where your arrogance derives. McToon, you sure do complain about. You do complain about. Yeah, you.
Nothing.
We have no positive claims.
That's what.
You're the one with all the
flat.
claims.
You got nothing, suckers.
So let's go. Okay, hold on a second. All right, hold on a second.
You have made
I
positive
appreciate
claims.
It, but just give me 1
50
sec.
years old,
We
arguing with
are
flat
going
earthers
to reset. Let's just reset the conversation to where this might be an opportunity to explore a different topic. So
t-shirt on.
we might be able to reset this chaos with a new topic.
Yeah.
Sure, but I do just gotta say, man, like McToon, bro, you can't cry about people interrupting you. And every time I speak, I get maybe one sentence in and you implode. Okay, so maybe you should let me talk if you want people not to interrupt you. It's ridiculous. It's like the 4th time. Every time I've spoken, you just spiral.
Okay. Y'all say that the Earth doesn't move at all, right? There's no rotation, no tilt, no anything.
The Earth rotates 1,000
Hold
miles
on. The interruption there.
Nathan,
The interruption.
all right.
He asked us a
Nathan.
question.
In miles per hour.
The question, Mick Cartoon.
Okay.
He said, "You guys say the Earth doesn't rotate." Did you not hear that? Are you not paying attention?
Okay.
You sitting too much photo over there.
Nathan, listen.
Okay, let's
Listen.
keep going.
You say the Earth doesn't tilt and doesn't rotate. Do you know what the solstices are? Even do you know?
You tell us.
The solstices are when the sun is at the northern and southernmost point, usually in June and December. Can't tell you exact days. I think it's 21st and December. I don't remember the December one. However, when the Earth is rotating, because that's what it does, when it's at the summer solstice, June 21st, the northernmost point, the center of the sun goes over the Tropic of Cancer, correct?
Yeah, man.
Do you want me to answer this? Because I can just answer it in 10 seconds. It's called northern and southern declination. The path of the sun expands and contracts around polar center. That's why we have seasons and solstices and equinoxes. And people believe we have alternating seasons in the north and
That's not what
south.
I asked you.
But we don't. Fauna and flora is much different, drastic temperature variations. That's how it all works on a flat Earth. I know you haven't done any research, but what are you getting at? Is this some kind of proof that you're spinning 1,000 miles an hour? Is asking us about solstices? Do you think this is proof?
On the summer solstice, Nathan, do you agree that the sun, its path travels around the Tropic of Cancer?
Are you going to get to the point, bro? Seriously?
I want your answer first.
Okay. Yes. In one of the equinoxes,
Okay.
the sun travels around the Tropic of Capricorn. On the other equinox, travels around the Tropic of Cancer. Okay. I just said that.
If the Earth does not tilt, tell me why in 1917 the Tropic of Capricorn was right at, let me get the exact measurements here for you because I have them saved.
Are you going to say 66.6 degrees north and 66.6 degrees south of southern latitude? Because that's what the Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn are, just so you know, buddy.
No, it's not. The Tropic of Cancer was right at 23 degrees and 27 minutes north in the year 1917. However, because of the tilt of the Earth, the fact that it wobbles on its axis, it actually drops 0.47 arc seconds per year. Did you know that?
Yeah. Have you verified any of this?
I don't have to personally.
Oh, yeah, you don't have to. You just could blindly believe everything in a PDF document like McCartoon did earlier. Excellent. We love you guys. You guys are on a roll. You guys are crushing it, dude. Keep it.
Hey, man.
up.
Hey, bro.
We have to.
Steven, let me help you out, bro. You're making a positive claim. You're making a positive claim of axial rotation, bro. Okay? So you're going to have to substantiate that, pointing at the sky and saying, I promise this happens because the Earth's a magic tilted ball on a 66.6 degree tilt, subtracted from 90 degree, which is where you get a 66. So this magic cartoon, we don't need you to just presuppose it, bro. When you look in the sky, it moves, okay? You're claiming causality being axial rotation, although the default position would be that it's stationary. You have the burden of proof. Can you substantiate terra firma spinning and rotating on an axis? Or are you just going to point to the sky and say, I promise that's why the sky moves?
I'm telling you that the wobble of the Earth on its axis is the reason why the Tropic of Cancer and the Tropic of Capricorn have moved positions, and the sun now goes over a different position on the Earth.
So you didn't actually listen when I said you can't just presuppose causality.
What am I presupposing here?
Yeah, you are.
The causality.
That happens because of tilt. Sorry, Austin. Go ahead, bro.
We will have to probably
Tell me
we can
what
do a
goes on.
little more discussion, but probably not too much longer. Than we have to get to the questions because we have a lot of questions, and so we can keep going with discussion, but not for particularly much longer.
Okay. Do we have any? Can any one of you offer us a demonstration in which gas pressure can exist without being physically contained here locally on Earth, without presupposing your fairy tale?
Yeah, gravity does it.
Okay, you have to reify gravity and then beg the nature.
No,
of the Earth.
I've presented 13 measurements of gravity.
No, you haven't.
Hey, didn't I just say
Already
you
on my
can't
website.
presuppose your fairy tale, dude? I said, do you have anything we can do and replicate via observation locally on Earth without presupposing your fairy tale?
It's not presupposed. It's a measurement. I've
just can't
already
be
substantiated. I've already substantiated the claim that gravity, mass-to-mass attraction exists. It's on my website. People can go there. MC2.net/G.
We have to let him respond, Nathan.
Hey, that's not even the current rhetoric.
Nathan.
Current rhetoric is
Nathan,
special
I hate
rhetoric.
to do this. Don't make me do this.
Hate to do what?
Do it.
I want
He
to.
needs it.
We need a chance to hear from
Nathan
MC
Hope.
Toon.
McToon needs some help.
He's
because in the
suffering.
middle of telling
He's
us
suffering
that-
from this.
Okay.
Nathan's got a little bit of this going on right now.
Yeah, but McToon, I asked you a point blank question, man. Stop monologuing about your fairy tale deified force. Can you answer the question specifically? Do you have a demonstration we can replicate locally on Earth that will show that you can have gas pressure without physical containment, or do you have to presuppose and reify your fairy tale? Answer directly for once, dude.
Absolutely. In nuclear centrifuges, they use uranium hexafluoride, which is a gas, and they put it into centrifuges, right? And they spin it. And on the outside, it's inside a container, right? And on the outside of it, its pressure is higher than on the inside of it. So then they pull out the lower, the less massive gas from the center of it, put it on into the next centrifuge. So there you go. There's a gas pressure caused by a force.
Did you just
not gravity.
now? Did you just now invoke a demonstration with a container to express to me that you can have gas pressure without a container?
I heard
Well,
it.
you didn't ask about a container.
I heard it.
Yeah, you didn't ask about a container.
I said
he's
physical
very
containment.
Oh, okay. So I don't know why you think that physical containment is so critical. That's not.
Otherwise.
Yeah. Why do you think that a physical container is necessary?
Well, all
I see.
observations show us that. So you're making a claim contrary to all observable phenomena in existence.
Okay.
So we would need you to substantiate the even potentiality of that, McTim.
I don't just because you've not seen it before, that means it can't happen.
What
No.
is your physical container?
I've seen
What?
it with all cartoons. That's why I
What
don't
is
believe-
your physical container?
Look, man, I'm not sure if you're aware how intellectual form works, okay? But you're making a positive claim contrary to all observable phenomena. You have the burden of proof to substantiate potentiality of your postulation. You don't shift the burden of proof over to where we can't legally travel. So, are you
Why
making
can't
a
you
claim
legally travel?
contrary to all? You're making a claim contrary to all observable phenomena, the necessary antecedent to gas pressure being physical containment, without you reifying your belief system.
Oh.
Can you give us something we can
That it
replicate
requires
locally?
a physical container.
Shut
What
up,
is
dude.
your physical container? Is that
I'm
your magical
asking
thing?
you to prove your positive
Hold
claim,
on.
and you're shifting the burden of proof over to something that is literally not possible for me to know the answer to.
Good one, Steven. Another ace in the hole, bro. Keep
How
using
is it
that one.
not possible?
Keep using that one, buddy. You're gonna get far, dude.
Okay, I'll answer for
Oh,
you guys. The answer is no, you can't. There isn't an observation that can be replicated locally on Earth in which you can have gas pressure without the necessary antecedent of physical containment. That is the answer. You invoked gravity, and then you used the outdated rhetoric. The current scientific rhetoric is that gravity is the effect of warped space-time. The theory of relativity, right, makes three claims. It attributes a positive speed of light, right, a constant speed to light. It says energy and mass are interchangeable, and that gravity is the effect of warped space-time. That's the current scientific rhetoric. So you're saying that that is causing the replacement for physical containment, and you're conceding that you can't replicate it without reifying your belief. Is that correct?
So well, here's the thing. You've made a positive claim that the necessary antecedent for gas pressure is physical containment. Please present your evidence for that.
All gas pressure that's ever existed has physical containment.
Sorry, no, present your evidence that that's the only way, right? Go ahead.
Well, you would have to present evidence contrary to all observable phenomena.
No, sorry.
That's how it
Present your
works.
evidence that this new law of physics that nobody's heard of before.
No,
Apparently,
it's
you
called the
guys.
second law of thermodynamics, McToon.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Real-
Where in the second law of thermodynamics does it say that? Please cite your
High-pressure
source.
systems move towards low-pressure systems. It's called
Oh,
entropy.
that's
so
true.
asking us-
Yes.
Show us when this doesn't happen is what we're telling you, McToon.
Oh,
We're
okay.
saying
I got that.
never happens. And then you said,
So-
no, it does happen. Look, if you put this stuff in a container, and then Austin and I just about fell out of our chair laughing. That's what
Yeah.
happened.
So, all right. So I got that. So you said high pressure moves to low pressure, right? So
Yeah.
at the surface of the Earth, 14.7 psi, up at the top of Mount Everest, 1/10 of that. Why did the pressure not move to that lower pressure system? What happened?
Why is there pressure in the first place? Is the question.
I'm sorry.
Muck Looney
Your
Tunes.
your deflection there. I'm wondering.
No, you're deflecting.
How is it?
You're deflecting.
How
No,
is
you
it that there's this
always
pressure
think of
differential?
There's pressure. Yeah. And the necessary antecedent to pressure is a container.
Yeah, you
Now,
said that, but you haven't supported that claim.
what do
That's
you
your
mean?
positive
We just told
assertion
you that's
that you've
every
not
container on
supported.
Earth.
Yeah, so
Every-
I'm still waiting
Hey,
for
McToon,
your
gas
evidence of that
power.
somehow it's in the second law of thermodynamics that you're not able to cite.
all right, quit
That's
with the
strange.
wizardry, dude.
So
Quit
that's
with the
back
wizardry.
to
Are you
hold on, that's
drinking?
back to
Are
no
you drinking?
evidence,
So if you
evidence
deny that
provided.
the second law of thermodynamics is a law.
But you've not substantiated your claim
I
that
have
the
to
second law of
substantiate that
thermodynamics.
laws. Are you
Hold on,
scientifically
let's
literate?
hold on. We do have to let
You
we
need-
do have to let him answer now.
You need to substantiate your positive claim that the necessary antecedent for gas pressure is physical containment. That's
Okay.
your positive claim
Okay.
that you are absolutely refusing to substantiate. I love it. And right on my website, I wrote, no evidence provided. Again, you guys are 0 for 10 here so
We
far.
You're
get
the
it,
one
dude. We
with the
get it,
positive
dude. Your
claim.
religion's being dismantled live time, and you're spiraling. But here's the deal: our proof is listen, Nate, listen carefully. All observable phenomena, McLooney Tunes. I don't know where the disconnect is here. All means
Except I
the
cited one,
entirety
so.
of observable phenomena shows us the necessary antecedent to gas pressure is physical containment. It's in the word pressure, bro. Presses on the walls of a container. Any definition
because
for
the
gas
word
pressure
is in
says
there.
walls of a
Oh,
container.
excellent.
You're making a claim. I'm almost done. You're making a claim contrary to all observable phenomena. So you need to prove that it's even possible for that to happen, McToon.
Okay.
And
Yeah,
then you
so
obfuscate and
you're
gas-
hold on. He asked me, Nathan. Shh. So he said, you guys have both said the necessary antecedent is a physical containment. So here's the deal. I have no problem with containment, and there's multiple ways to contain. For example, with a force other than a physical container. So can you substantiate that a force cannot contain?
You don't have to
You
prove
show us
negatives.
that
This is
a
your
force
positive
can.
claim. You're claiming something. Wait, let me just break this down for the viewer because I don't think Looney Tune even knows his claim really. But so gravity relative to the Earth has a singular vector. You should probably pay attention. So it has a singular vector, yet you're claiming that it stops the dispersal of gas in all directions. In addition, when you let gas out the surface level, it goes in all directions, where according to your little religion would be the strongest force of gravity. Yet when it gets way further away from the surface level, all of a sudden it flips the switch on and gravity works. So even if we give you the presupposition of your deified little force, which is now in effect not even a force, known as gravity, it doesn't answer the question of the singular vector in which is imposed relative to the Earth and why it doesn't work on the surface level but turns on much further. In addition, you can't even substantiate gravity. So can you address any of that?
Thing.
Just a
So
pesky
you
thing.
didn't
You're just
you
an
didn't support you didn't support your assertion. So thank you. I'll leave it at no evidence
I have a
provided.
You're the
question.
one
Both
asserting
Nathan and
space
Austin.
is next to our atmosphere. We're saying no, that doesn't happen. It violates a law
Nathan.
of thermodynamics.
There's another
Why?
positive claim for you to support. There you go. It violates
I-
law of
Why
space,
is it
violates
that
law
law.
of
you all
thermodynamics
cannot
is real?
answer a
No,
single
you have to
positive claim
support
that you
that
have
space
made?
is
All
real.
right, Nathan.
All
You
right,
all
Nathan.
cannot substantiate a single positive claim that you all have made, but we have to try
Yeah,
again.
dude, no, we have. Hey, listen, Stephen, you're
No,
not
you
listening.
haven't. Where's
You're
your
making a-
container?
Stephen, you're making a positive claim of specificity, okay? Circumference, radius, axial rotation, a pressurized system adjacent to a near perfect vacuum, sphericity, sphericity of the moon, sphericity of celestial
Dun, dun,
bodies,
dun.
orbital trajectory. You're making a very positive claim of specificity, okay? We are saying that based on all observable phenomena, the necessary antecedents to gas pressure is physical containment based on the natural law of second law of thermodynamics. You're
So
making a
where
claim
is your
contrary to
physical
that.
container?
You have to substantiate the potentiality of your postulation, bro.
And you have to
Objectively.
substantiate that there is a physical container.
The gas
We have an explanation,
pressure.
not our fault that you don't accept the way that physics works.
That's ironic because you're literally making a claim contrary to a natural law of physics.
Oh,
You
there's
don't
your
have to
positive
make it
claim
correct.
that you cannot support.
All
You keep
observable
making
phenomena.
these claims.
Observable.
You
McToon,
keep
you're not
making these claims, but you refuse to support them. Thank you very much.
Let's
It
solve it
makes
now.
you
Let's
look
go to
pretty
Antarctica
silly.
and find your dome.
These guys.
Yeah, I support the claim with all observable phenomena for the fifth time.
Let's go to Antarctica and find your dome.
No, I don't want to go on a date with you. I wanted proof we live on a ball. And you didn't have any. So this debate's over. We should move on to
It was-
question and
It's
answer.
been circumnavigated. You don't accept that. We've given you measurements. You don't accept that. We've taken pictures with a physical camera and developed them in a dark room. You don't accept that. I mean, what would you accept, Nathan? You deny everything. You have no positive proof. You deny everything that is presented to you, and you just act like a complete jackass for everyone to see all the time with nothing to say.
Yeah, we'll see who's eating crow in the end, won't we? And we'll see who's laughing last, won't we?
I sure will.
Maybe, let's
You have
see.
not given any proof.
We might jump into the old
make me
question and
talk.
answer pretty quick here. Sounds like everybody's ready. Is that fair to say?
Can I?
MC2,
Yeah. Can I put one challenge in for the Q&A for you? All right. Different, questions will be addressed to different ones of us. Could I challenge all four of us, if a question is directed to us, that we make sure that we directly answer the question, and not deflect to the other model, right? So does this work on you? How does this work for you? It doesn't work.
Nathan.
And rather than the answer being, well, it doesn't work on the other one, it be, here's how it works on my model, right? And if everybody doesn't, how about whatever that super chat is, we double that super chat, give it to your favorite charity, James.
No, I don't live based on the confinements of your little rules, dude. I don't know what you think this is, but Mattoon, do you agree that the falsification of your model is independent of replacement?
No, but you've not falsified anything because you've not provided any evidence.
You don't agree that the falsification of your model is independent of replacement?
You would have to falsify something first.
Yeah, we falsified your radius.
These guys are actors, bro. You can't even answer a question. If we falsify your model, we don't have to.
You haven't presented any evidence. You can't falsify evidence.
Wait,
with
time out. For the
nothing.
viewer, for the viewer at home, I debated Mattoon one time. I did present evidence. It's called the Black Swan. From 1 foot observer height, you can see over 9.5 miles, where the geometric horizon should be no further than 1.2 miles, making the globe Earth have to have a radius of 250,000 miles approximately to have that observation. He says,
just go into that just before the Q&A, dude. You couldn't go one debate without saying Black Swan.
No, I'm saying I was making the point to the viewer. You say that you never get evidence. I gave you evidence, and in that debate,
I totally ruined your evidence there, dude.
In that debate, Mattoon showed a picture of the horizon and said, "This is the curve of Earth," and then like 10 minutes later said, and I quote, "We never see the geometric horizon." So anyways, dismisses, dude. It's a clown show.
That is pretty funny.
Yeah. So anyway, James, people pay money for the super chats, and for somebody to go and not answer the question directly is pretty disrespectful to the person that paid that money.
How about you answer the questions how you want to answer your questions, and then shut the hell up when I'm
Well,
talking.
but Nathan, Nathan, you are sassy tonight. I think that it would be good, Nathan, like there's nothing wrong with saying you'll try your best to directly answer a question. Like, why? That's not much to ask, even if it was just a normal, like standard question that wasn't a super chat, right?
Bro, I've done a dozen debates on your channel. I'll sit here for hours and hours and hours and answer every single question these globies have in detail and explain why it doesn't work on their model, because I'm that detailed and that efficient.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Sometimes lights in the sky change colors. That's a direct quote from you.
So
You had no reason.
I think what we could do is, I don't mind if you say cool story, bro, if they're like making fun of your appearance or something, Nathan, but the other ones it's like ideally we would love, and I for everybody, all four, we always love if a guest will try to take the question on straight on. So thanks so much for your super chat. Appreciate it. From our dearest friend, Andreas Eld. Let me know if I mispronounce. Forgive me. Said, shut up and take my money. Thanks for that support. Dwayne Burke, thanks for your super chat. Said, Nathan and Fight the Flat Earth are best friends and have sleepovers. Learn something new every day. JL Warren, thanks for your super chat. Said, looks like Natalie fell for the Alt F4 trick once again. Nathan, did you fall for that?
Next.
Gotcha. Dwayne Burke, thanks for your super chat. Says, Steven Steen is still my dad, even if the earth is flat. Thanks for that. Dwayne Burke, thanks for your other super chat, who said, pics of my feet for $1. First come, first served. I appreciate that. MC Toon looks excited. Next up, thanks for your super chat from Tim Pryor. Says, what's the holdup? We had all sorts of tech issues. And Nathan's fault. But thanks for your I'm kidding. I think it was like an internet connection problem. We had all sorts of stuff going on. It wasn't actually Nathan at all. Nathan showed up relatively on time. Thanks for your super chat. Tim Pryor said, let's get ready to rumble. No, just joking. Let's get ready to be entertained by Nathan's stupidity. Gotcha. Nathan, no response. You're not even giving people the satisfaction of responding. Okay. Bitwise79, thanks for your super chat, said, today we're debating cats versus dogs, and we're starting right meow. Very clever. I like that. I love cats, by the way. Kang024, thanks for your super chat, said, question for MC Toon. They say, so we don't have to hear any more rubbish spill from Nathan's mouth. Please explain to us why an equatorial mount only works on a spherical Earth.
Oh, I love that one. That's complicated for a lot of people if you don't know about how they work. What you do is you point it up at the North Star, the North Celestial Pole, South Celestial Pole, and you lock it in there based on your latitude, right? Then what happens is it only moves in one axis of freedom, and that can only work on a sphere because of where you are on the surface of a sphere and the angle that you are to the North Celestial Pole or South Celestial Pole.
Gotcha.
It's a little more complicated for the other model, but I won't say that.
You're having a seizure.
And thanks for your super chat from our dearest friend Bitwise79 says, oh, I got that one. That's embarrassing. We already did that one. Next up is from the Macedonian. Thanks for your super chat. It says, Natalie, explain 24 hours of sun in Antarctica summer.
Yeah, I would submit you're begging the question. I've been running that group for 5 years, 134,000 members. Nobody has independently verified we have 24-hour sun in the south. There might be 24-hour daylight, but that just shows that we live in some sort of caustic cup and the light. That could be what's happening. So you have no evidence of 24-hour sun in Antarctica. And there's like 2 videos on the internet. It's like a cartoon sun bouncing around the background. It's a total joke. So until we independently verify that, I don't have to answer that question. I've never seen evidence that happens. And I'm not like just denying evidence. I mean, we've gone to the north and recorded a 24-hour sun in the north. That very obviously happens all the time. Well, not all year long, but it happens quite often. So see it in the south. It's not verifiable. So I don't have to answer to you how that happens.
Why don't you go do it, dude?
Oh, well, why don't you
go there?
Why don't you go do it, dude? Because I've been so busy debunking curvature.
Because you'd reject it if I did it.
While you put together a website based on stuff people said, and you haven't verified.
From the 1800s.
We must keep moving. Raven Zero, thanks for your super chat, said, Nathan, have you considered maybe you were just wrong?
Yeah, I hope to God I was wrong. I actually talked about that in my introduction. Maybe you weren't paying attention, but I don't want to be a flat earther. I really don't care what the shape of the earth is. I just want to know the truth, and I want other people to have the opportunity to know the truth. And of course, there's going to be bozo the clowns out there that deny the truth, even though it's right in front of them. But those who have eyes to see will see, and those who have ears to hear will hear.
Gotcha. And JL Warren, thanks for your super chat, said, Nathan still so broke he can't even pay attention. Oh, zing. Okay, thanks for your super chat. Kang024 or Kang024, thanks for your super chat, said, question for MC Toon. So we don't have to listen to... Did we get this one?
I already did that one.
No, they did it. It's the same setup. It's just, so they say, so we don't have to listen to any more rubbish from the 2 dummies this time.
Oh, it's a different one.
Then they say, can you please tell us how a fiber optic Euro works? Is this gyro?
It's gyro.
Gyro. Oh, that one gets me every
fiber
time.
optic gyro. All right, it splits. A laser is on it. It goes through a partially mirrored crystal, splits it in 2 directions. The light goes around in opposite directions and then is recombined once it's gone around. There's other orientations and ways to do it.
Gotcha.
When that rotates, the path gets longer one direction than the other. And when it recombines the light, there is, rather than having the light waves line up on top of each other, there's a diffraction that happens and is measured. That when the actual device physically rotates, it measures that. And the cool thing is, it measures Earth's rotation. Thanks, Bob.
Presupposed causality.
Gotcha. And thanks for your super chat from dearest friend JL Warren. Oh, we got that one. That's embarrassing. Steven Steen says, MC Loon is a fraud. Long live MC Flatty. Thank you for that.
Oh, McFlatty is terrible. That guy's
really?
He's gotta be the worst flat earther is McFlatty.
Is he really? There's really a person, a McFlatty?
Yeah.
Next up,
don't go subscribe to him.
Like, I must see now. Tim Pryor, thanks for your super chat, says, placing bets. Who wants to bet Nathan does not address any of his evidence and just brings up stupid stuff?
That happened.
Yeah, says the guy who didn't say anything substantive the whole time.
Yeah, didn't say anything in the debate. Good one.
Next up, Glober Mommy, thanks for your super chat, said, Nathan, can you please act like an adult for once and not like an immature child? Thanks. Next up.
And on that note,
if you got a ship in a bottle, what is that? Okay, next.
It's called mead. It's fermented honey, and this one was made with blackberries, raspberries, and blueberries.
That's right. You're on the health kick, right? Nathan sent me pictures.
That's how I get the abs.
Yes. Thank you, Nathan. That's what everybody was waiting for. Thanks for your super chat from Tim Pryor, said, this is why Nathan remains ignorant. Doesn't even look like he's even paying attention.
Dude, you had a guy who took 30 minutes to solve a Rubik's Cube. It takes like 3 minutes to do that. Are you joking me, dude?
I did it 3 times, dude.
Next up, Kang024, thanks for your super chat. Says, question for MC Toon. Please save us from any more verbal diarrhea from Tweedledee and Tweedledummer. For the education of the audience, please explain why sunset proves spherical Earth.
Well, I did address that in the beginning. Because I measured it, but the sun. If we take a sun fixed coordinate system, the Earth rotating, there's a big old spherical thing in the way. That's how it works.
Gotcha. And thanks for your super chat from Michael Dresden, our local troll, says, "LOL, Glober laying in his bed trying to be seductive." Believe that's directed at you, Stephen. You do look more seductive than usual, Stephen. Very good. Next up, thank you for your super. So, are you laying down, Stephen? Just like take it, just like resting. You know, it's easy going. I like it.
No, I'm sitting up, just leaning.
Gotcha. I might lay down. I think it's time for me to like stretch across this recliner. But thanks for your super chat. Kang024 says, MC Toon. They do it again. Please save us from any more parroting of Nathan Oak-Ely, QE, and Sleeping Warrior from these Muppets. For the education of the audience, please explain the observed atmospheric gradient and why we don't need a container for the atmosphere.
Well, we do have a container. It's gravity. It's been measured, and at sea level, it's 14.7. At high elevation, there's much lower. Now here's the cool thing. As Nathan said, the high pressure will move into low pressure. So absent a force, which is their claim, absent a force, it would equalize. And here's the thing, it would equalize very quickly. There's a Princeton article that Nathan cited on Facebook that talks about how quickly the differentials in pressure would equalize. It's the speed of sound. So here's the thing. From ground level to the Kármán line, if it was just a dynamic system, any pressure, absent a force, would equalize up to the Kármán line in 6 seconds. There'd be a constant upward wind of 700 miles an hour, but we don't see that. Why is that? What is causing this disequilibrium?
It's a closed dynamic system. There's a concentration of gas at the surface because it's constantly
you
being
didn't
introduced. In addition,
you're
you
not
have to
addressing
Can we interrupt him? You're not even going to let him answer?
Yeah.
Just
Yeah, I am.
You're
It was
a
my
joke.
question.
Yeah, 'cause you're
It was
a
my
joke.
question.
Yeah,
Well, you
it's
asked
my
the
question.
question.
Know the answer.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well,
Shut
where
up,
is this?
dude.
Where is this
You can't ask
700
questions.
mile an hour
Hold on,
upward
Nathan.
wind, Austin?
You're
The
assuming.
upward wind that
Nathan.
you are now asserting because you are making the positive claim that there's outgassing. And
I
then
was trying to do it
goes
real
up,
quick
right?
so we could move on through the
Yeah, I
Q&A.
know. But that's another positive claim that you've made. So I'll put that down. Go ahead. Continue.
All right, McLooney Tunes. Simply, there's a higher concentration of gas at the surface because it's constantly being introduced. In addition, we would have to know the characteristics of the firmament, like the electrostatic nature and what is being emitted, so thus affecting the propagation of said gas pressure within the atmosphere.
Sure.
You don't know those answers. You just presuppose fairy tales.
Next up, thanks for your super chat from Dearest Tim Pryor says, Flat Earthers really need to learn the burden of proof. They are going against almost 7 billion people and all the world's geniuses. You guys have to prove otherwise because it's proven to be a globe every day.
Argument.
Yeah, that's an appeal to majority. That's a fallacy.
Sorry.
Stupid.
Next up,
That's
thanks,
dumb.
Everyone on Earth thinks Earth's a strawberry, so we know Earth's a strawberry. No, dude, that's an argument for popularity. Okay.
Next up, Glober Mami. Thanks for your super chat. Says, Nathan/Austin, do you trust in what your doctors tell you, or do you tell them they are appealing to authority?
I'm not big on. Oh, you go.
Hospitals kill more people than cops, but y'all want to talk about that.
I'm not a big fan of synthetic medicine myself.
Gotcha. Sorry, I'm not laughing at you.
It's terrible for you, bro.
I appreciate this next super chat from Dearest GPS. Says, Flat Earth, how does GPS work? It uses distances to determine location, not angles. So it isn't balloons or towers. Why won't you get Bob to test this with you?
Do you want to answer that, Austin? Because, I mean, it obviously can't be coming from towers and balloons above our head. It has to be metal boxes in space, 250 miles away, going 17,000 miles an hour because of gravitational orbits, because that's how you would triangulate objects, guys. That's what you for sure would do. You definitely would not use towers and balloons right above your head. You would use cartoon metal boxes, which, if you Google satellites in space, guys, they are all cartoons. I'm not making this up. I'm not lying to you guys.
It'd be incredibly inefficient at 17,500 miles per hour to use it for your satellites, dude. Your service. That's stupid.
It's stupid.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Thanks for your super chat from Tim Pryor. Says, oh, impressive, Nathan. We have 7 billion people plus all the world's geniuses. A little bit harder, and you may convince the entire world.
I always say professionals sort, amateurs convince. So if you guys think I'm trying to convince you, again, you're not listening to what I'm saying. I'm here to plant the seed. You can shoot the messenger. You can't kill the message. Truth rides on, ladies and gentlemen.
What was your phrase? You said amateurs convince, and what was it? Scholars shart, or what was it?
Professionals sort. Just sort.
Shart. He said shart.
I
think he said shart. I heard shart.
Like,
They sort through the people, the ones who are looking, the ones who have eyes to see and can hear the truth. That's who I talk to.
I think there's only a couple of squirt boys here.
Gotcha. And thanks for your super chat from Jessica G. Says, this nerd is legitimately reading off of cards. I don't remember. Was anyone reading from cards? It's okay if you did. It's nothing to be ashamed of.
I've not read from cards, but I'm a nerd. I'll take that.
Gotcha. Okay. Thanks for your, like, you're coming at you for reading off your cards. And Kango24, thanks for your super chat, says, Nathan, I took your advice and did my own research. I bought a solar filter and filmed the sun. It does not change angular size as it sets, so it's not moving away as it sets. The Earth is spherical.
Again, guys, we know the shape of the floor because we looked at the sky. That's these Globers, bro. They have no proof the Earth's a tilted, spinning testicle in space. So they talk about the sky over and over again. Been hearing this for 5 years. It's pathetic.
Yeah, angular resolution, man.
Gotcha. And totally appreciate your super chat coming in from D6 says, can you start something like a Nobel Prize in flat earth community so us dummies can learn the best discoveries that you come up with?
Yeah, it's called Geo Party. Tune in Friday, 9 p.m.
Oh, let's see. Oh, Jessica G said her insult about using note cards was directed toward Nathan, not MC Toon. Sorry.
Nathan's
about that.
not a nerd. What are you talking about? He's not smart enough to be a nerd.
Oh, wow.
Lithium,
Good one.
beryllium, boron, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine, neon, sodium, magnesium, aluminum, silicon, phosphorus. Can you do that, McToon?
I'm about to super chat
That doesn't make you. That's
How
not the
about
nerd
pi?
test. You don't even know the nerd test.
3.141592653589793. Can you recite pi, McToon?
That's not the nerd test either.
Oh, what's a nerd test?
I can't tell you. It's a secret. It's a secret society.
You a real nerd, McToon? Doing the Rubik's Cube with the globe in the background, being a NASA fanboy. Does that make you a nerd? And just having that shit-eating grin on your face?
SpaceX. I really like SpaceX better.
You like
than
SpaceX.
NASA, so.
They do better space porn
Me
than
too.
NASA.
I'm ready to go there.
Gotcha. Okay, enough of your space porn. Next up, thanks for your super chat. Appreciate it from Dearest Red Cosmos Devil says, Natalai, L-I-E at the end in caps, says, explain why there are no tornadoes or hurricanes at the equator.
Because we live on a tilted cartoon testicle. That's the only reason that would ever work, because we live on a tilted cartoon. You're right. I just got convinced, guys.
Awesome.
I can't believe I saw that movie about chasing tornadoes like 10 years ago, and here I am this whole time thinking the Earth's flat. How
Are
dumb.
you talking about the hit 1997 classic Twister starring
Twister?
Bill Paxton and Helen Hunt? And next up, that's one of my favorite movies. Next up, Tim Pryor, thanks for your super chat, says, how do I get a wrench? Modern day debate. Already took care of you, Tim. Tim also says, smartest guy you've ever known, researched 7 months and thinks it's flat. 7 seconds and I debunk that BS. Horizon alone destroys flat Earth.
Wow, that is so dumb. I just lost brain cells.
Yeah.
So if the horizon's constantly fluctuating because it's an apparent location, it can't prove the physicality of the curvature of Earth.
Yeah. All your Globers in the trenches are saying you can't see the physical horizon. But you guys are so scientifically illiterate, you think it obstructs things. Cool story, bro.
Okay. And thanks for your super chat from Outlaw Jer, who says, if the flat Earth has a, quote, Karen, unquote, Nathan is it.
They love you, bro.
I'm so
Next
sad.
up, let's see. Thanks for your super chat from Raven Zero says, so Nathan once more doesn't understand mathematics. Is this true, Nathan?
A Glober once more doesn't understand mathematics is just a human construct used to describe.
Next up, thanks for your super chat from Dearest King024 says, Nathan, I did my own research and discovered the topological surveys of the oceans that have been done. Oceans are not flat. The Earth is spherical.
Yeah, okay, if you say so, but the USGS and uses flat Earth maps to calculate distances outward from the North Pole, and the United States Coast Guard has a geographic range table which lists distances you can see at sea level, which would be impossible on a globe. So that was a cool story, bro, but it's not true.
Gotcha. And Tim Pryor, thanks
I'll
for
put that
yours.
down with no evidence provided. Go ahead.
Thanks
Go
Full
ahead.
story, McLooney Tunes.
Yeah,
Thanks
cool
for your
story.
super chat.
Wow.
Tim Pryor says, Nathan, I've heard people tell you that's not what we believe. Stop lying.
Could you be more vague? I'm not even sure what he's talking about.
Yeah, why do we have to believe things anyway, by the way?
This is science. Observable, repeatable, reproducible. This is not beliefs, okay? This is not religion class. I'm here to tell you guys what you can go outside and observe. We see way too far. These clowns don't even know how far the Earth would curve at 17 miles. And then they make fun of us for thinking it curves. Oh, you don't even know the formula. Okay, you just told me it's 7.7 inches, clown.
Oh, wait. KO24, thanks for your super chat, says, MC Toon, please save us from any more babble from the strange man-child that is Nathan. Tell us why a sextant used for navigation only works on a spherical Earth.
Sextant, yes. So a sextant is something that measures angles, similar to a theodolite, but it's a little more limited in what it can do. It has a nice feature that you can use it on a moving ship. So you can sight the horizon and you can sight a star at the same time, and the thing is that all of the calculations for the stars, all of them only work for a sphere. And in particular, I can give you this: the North Celestial Pole at 45 degrees from Minnesota here works perfectly on a sphere. If you move 1 degree south of here, it's 44 degrees. It's a consistent distance. If the Earth were flat, every time to get 1 degree declination of that star or the celestial pole would require increasing distances due to the law of perspective.
Gotcha. And thanks so much for our Patreon super chat comments. And also, thanks for new subscriber, Ziga Filippic. Let me know if I pronounced it wrong. We are stoked to have you as a member here at Modern Day Debate. Also, I think there were maybe 1 or 2 other names I missed as it came up on the screen. Sorry about that, but we're thrilled to have you here with us. And Spart344, thanks for your super chat, said, for Nathan, every single first-year chemistry student can tell you that you have no idea what the second law of thermodynamics does. Every single one.
Another argument from popularity. It's about entropy. High pressure systems move towards low pressure systems. If you want to deny that, you can just be a religious zealot, fundy glober. That's cool.
Yeah. Layman terms for some globers. Heat to cold.
Yeah. High pressure to low pressure. Put your hand on the stove and you get burned. Rocket surgery.
You. All right. And Adam Elbilia, thanks for your question, said, how can you forfeit an opportunity to sneak the controversial flat earth, quote unquote, subject inside the video's title? Just did it for you. Thanks, Adam. Great idea. And Brian Stevens, you sick mofo, thanks for your question, says, the claim that hospitals have killed more people than cops is true because cops aren't treating people with cancer. Thank you for the deceptive, fallacious reasoning, Nathan.
Well, that's not what he said.
Yeah, it is.
So, malpractice kills people. We're not talking about the cancer killing the people. We're talking about the synthetic medicine in hospitals being performed on people, and then they die because of malpractice.
Yeah. Also, people being put on ventilators that don't need to put on ventilators. They're suffering from oxygen deprivation, not lung failure. So, lots of things going on.
Very sassy. And thanks for your super chat from a gosh darn delight. Says, it's kind of sad that Flat Earth debates get so many viewers because these two dip poops don't deserve the audience. Love the channel, James. First, well, thank you. I appreciate that. But also, Nathan and Austin, thanks for being good sports. I know it's been rough tonight. You guys have had a lot thrown at you.
Blessed are you when men revile you and curse you and speak all kind of evil against you falsely. Rejoice, for great is your reward in heaven. These guys don't even know what they're doing, dude. They don't even have eyes to see. What do you expect?
MC Toon is your buddy, at least. And Steven. Give that the thumbs up. Next up, thanks for your super chat from Glober Mami. Thanks for your question, saying, for Nathan and Austin, are you not presupposing a flat earth created by God and using the Bible as your evidence, then claim globe science as a religion?
No, literally not at all. We went and tested the physical claim of a rate of curvature necessitated by the circumference, which is where you deduce the radius. We went and tested said curvature. It's non-existent. Thus, we falsified the radius. with the falsification of radius, the entire model implodes. It's called empirically verifying your claims. We disproved them. It's literally independent of any type of spiritual belief system.
Yeah, and I said at the beginning, I don't want to be a flat earther. I don't even care what the shape of the earth is. I just want to know the truth. And so I spent my own money, invested in 3 long distance cameras, the most powerful zoom cameras on the earth at the time. And then I went out, traveled all over the US, met about 3,000 flat earthers, hosted hundreds of meetups, but did dozens of experiments, also looking at the sky. The sky is a map and a clock. So when these people talk about celestial navigation and sextants and how their equatorial mounts only work on their spinning tilted ball, the sky is a map and a clock. We are not blasting 500,000 miles an hour through space. That is a cartoon. And they believe it because they're gullible. Don't be like these guys.
Gotcha. And thanks for your super chat from, you guessed it, Nathan, one of your best buddies is here tonight. Fight the Flat Earth says, Nathan, can you present any measurements of the Earth being flat?
I tried to get him to do that for a while.
Yeah, I talked about how I was at the Salton Sea. You could see the laser from shore to shore. Joshua Mookie took that photo that I went and verified myself. I mean, Lake Pontchartrain, they think it curves at 7 miles away from you. But from left side of the screen to the right side of the screen is 20 miles, and there's no curve on that axis. So, yes, anyone can go outside and verify this themselves. What we're saying here, Austin and I, is that they say the Earth's radius is this. They say we live in space. They say that we move this fast. And they just can't support any of that crap with evidence. They will assume a flat Earth and then do math about lights in the sky. That's what they do. You guys saw it. You can rewind the video. It's all here. Etched in eternity. Thank you very much, Mick Clown and Steven.
Dude, I tested your claims. It failed.
Next, thanks for your super chat. Tioga, our dearest friend. By the way, thanks for your super chat, Tioga. And she is the local artist. I don't know if I had mentioned to you folks that we have a merch store. If it's just the standard logo, that is kind of like standard merch. But if you see something that like looks artistically cool, that is from Tioga. And so we want to say huge thanks to her for doing that awesome work. And you can support a local artist if you happen to buy one of those sweet things that has, for example, her artistic rendition of the logo, as well as, for some reason, I don't know why anyone would want to wear a sweatshirt with my face on it, but she is epic. We love Tioga. Terrific. And her super chat says this. We get it, Nathan. You don't read. Don't moon us, Nathan.
I mean, are you guys serious? I don't read? Are you guys kidding? I just did a book review on my channel of this other book that I have over here. And if you look inside of it, it's all full of notes and me writing on it. And so, whatever. Dude, Globers are not just scientifically illiterate. They deny reality. They're upset with God. They have no hope. They have no peace. Like, what are you going to say about these people, dude? This is what I expect. So thank you very much, Glober, for doing exactly what I expect.
They can't go against the mold, man. They can't go against majority. It's uncomfortable for them, so they'd rather just tout consensus because it's safer.
We want to hear. We haven't gotten to hear a lot from Steven. Go ahead, Steven. What were you saying?
It's not that he doesn't read. It's just that he doesn't comprehend.
Gotcha. And let's see. We are going to the next one, which is Tim Pryor. Thanks for your super chat. Says Nathan must think that airplanes drag a tape measure along the ground to calculate its altitude, because apparently there's no other way to measure distance in his eyes.
No, you could very easily just do speed and then how long you've been traveling, and that would give you distance, Glober. But according to the Federal Airline Administration, they train pilots and air traffic controllers on a target generation facility, which is a flat Earth simulator. It also assumes a non-rotating Earth and that it negates a gravity vector. So thank you very much. That's why they're called airplanes and not air curves, Globers.
Gotcha. And Cal's Kingdom, thanks for your super chat, said, Nathan, you're such a rude, bad faith actor. Every time someone accurately summarizes your argument, you cry about misrepresentation. Do you think we can't tell you're doing this, or what? And you suck. I added that last part in, but go ahead. Sorry.
Did you really?
Yeah, I'm kidding, Nathan. Come Come
All
on.
right, I have nothing to
Joke.
say.
Oh, dude.
Crybaby.
The moderator's taking a
Go ahead.
dig.
I'm just, I'm totally teasing you, Nathan. We love you. We love you
I
too,
know, dude.
Austin. We love everybody here. Go ahead, Nathan. That was, but they did say the rest of it though.
Yeah, it's all right. I have nothing to say to that person. They're just upset.
Yeah, some people are built for it. I think we all know that Nathan and I are built for it. Gamma's opinions don't affect us. So
Gotcha.
cool
And
story.
thanks for your super chat from Raven Zero says, Nathan, the average laptop CPU has 1.7 billion transistors. The mathematics behind are so complicated to understand, so you don't believe on PC as well. You don't believe in PCs as well if you can't understand the basis of their mathematics.
Well, I mean, our brains have, a billion neurons, and then each one of those have 10,000 possible synapses and connections. So there's even more connections in between your ears. Unfortunately, Clovers don't use any of those. But you don't have to know how everything works to use something. So, yeah, I use computers, and I use my brain. That's why I'm a flat earther. Thank you very much.
Gotcha. And thanks so much. Appreciate your super chat from... See, some people are really mad about me adding on that last part. It was a joke, people. Come on. Look, Nathan's happy. He's all right. Okay, thanks for your super chat from... Cal's Kingdom says... Nathan says, quote, my intuition is better than math. Thompson. Oh, I see. They're saying that's your middle name. Nate, my intuition is better than math. Thompson. Sorry. Okay, I'm sorry. Your face is just so serious. Okay, Glober Mommy, thanks for your super chat, says, Nathan, have you validated anything in the Bible?
Yeah, well, the Bible says to test all things and hold fast to that which is true. So when I was 20 years old, before I was ever a flat earther, I actually set out to disprove the Bible. I used to make fun of my friends that were all Christians. I thought it was a stupid piece of literature made to control people. The more I looked into it, the more I realized it's like the greatest love story ever told. It was written from outside of our time domain, and it's got equidistant letter sequencing and numerology and historical truths in there and spiritual truths in there. And it also has got prophecy where it predicts the future. And, we're just rolling right into it like a freight train, a bullet train. So, keep your eyes peeled and keep some popcorn ready. Interesting times ahead, that's for sure. You ain't seen nothing yet.
Okay. And thanks for your super chat from Red Cosmos Devil says, Natalie, if you really want to disprove the globe, why don't you do the experiments yourself? Oh, wait, you only work in kilometers, not miles. Never mind.
I've been testing the earth myself.
Backwards.
If anyone wants to see my list of firsthand observations, I can show them to you real quick here, but you could also email me at flatearthflyers.com. All those yellow links are links to videos where I went out in nature and verified we don't live on a tilted testicle and the sky is not what we're being told.
I'll ask you to pay him.
Next up, let's see. We've got Fight the Flat Earth chimes in again, Nathan. Your dearest old buddy says, MC Toon, do the surveyors take into account local topography?
Did they? Yeah.
It's all in there,
Yeah,
right?
obviously. Well, yeah, it is. And so the thing is, when they're measuring horizontal angles, not vertical angles, so the topography doesn't affect it. That's the cool thing about the technique they use.
Gotcha.
Horizontal, but curved, right? Horizontal but curved.
Yes.
Okay.
And Sirf, thanks for your super chat, said, Nathan, quote, it's measurably flat, unquote. Also, Nathan, quote, you don't measure flatness, unquote.
Yeah, you look for curve and find out there is none there. So in that sense, it is measurably flat. There is no measurable curvature to Earth's surface at all. Clovers just refuse to go test it themselves and look at the sky over and over or tell you it's really big. That's why it's flat. Durr.
Well, but one thing I want to just be sure that I understand that you covered is that they say that you also say that quote, you don't measure flatness. So I understand the first part. You're saying that it's measurably flat because you're saying measurements have been done in which you're saying they haven't found curve, but you're saying when it comes to the part where it says you saying that you don't measure flatness, I think they're saying that there's like an inconsistency there. I'm trying to understand like what, maybe you responded to that part, but I missed it.
Yeah, just you don't measure nothing. So if you go out looking for curvature and there is no curvature there, well, then you measured how flat it is.
Gotcha. And this one guy, thanks for your super chat, says, whatever happened to decorum? I don't know if we've had that on here for a while. Tim Pryor, thanks for your super chat, said, Nathan, people have shown you the effects of the curve and gave you measurements of it. Stop lying. You've seen it. You just stick your fingers in your ears.
Neil deGrasse Tyson, the most famous scientist on Earth, says no civilian has ever seen the curve of the Earth was flat from the Red Bull space jump. So unless you're asserting that people have seen it, the astronauts lied to us, well, then cool story, bro. But it's measurably flat from the floor. This is not Snoop Dogg science where we got to freaking get high to go figure out where we live. It's flat from the floor.
Mr. Anderson, thanks for subscribing. Just saw your name pop up on the screen and thrilled to have you with us and having you be a member here. And thanks for your super chat from Tim Pryor, said Nathan P. Oh, wait, we got that one. Jake 4D says, look, modern day debate is live. Oh, flat earth. Don't have time for stupid. Oh, come on, Jake. We're all sitting like right here, man. Okay, so thanks for your super chat from Aaron Armstrong. Says, Whitsitt hasn't said specificity yet. It's not the real Whitsitt.
It's a deep
That's
take.
pretty funny.
And Lily R.O., thanks for your super chat, said, we need a reality show. Top from both sides. Experts in physics, a moderator, James, expeditions, experiments funded by viewers, grown-ups only. Sorry, Nathan. Oh. Okay, next up, Willie Merck. Wait, did we lose MC Toon? Are you gone? I can't see you anymore. Oh, did you turn the lights off? Okay, no problem. Thanks for your... Steven is passing out. Willie Merck, thanks for your super chat. Says, Nathan, please be honest. Is In-N-Out better than Whataburger? Make believe you still eat meat. I want a response.
Okay, that's actually a funny question because I haven't had meat in about 4 or 5 years. It's one of the reasons I'm in such excellent shape. But I had a dream the other day that I was eating In-N-Out, and my friend asked me where I wanted to go, and I said, let's go to In-N-Out Burger. I don't know why I would go to In-N-Out if I'm eating an In-N-Out Burger. I remember looking down and going, and then I woke up and go, what the hell was that? So it's definitely In-N-Out. It's much better than Whataburger. Final answer.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense at all if you're already there. But thanks for your super chat. By the way, did you grow up? It must have been down in the South. Did you grow up with Whataburger?
No, but I got to try it when I did my trip around the U.S. for the flat Earth observations, and I got some in Texas. And In-N-Out is way better, way fresher. I worked at In-N-Out for almost a year, and they don't even have refrigerators there, or they don't have freezers there because they don't freeze anything, guys. The bread comes in fresh every 2 days. If you've never tried In-N-Out, you got to try In-N-Out.
That's impressive. Okay, next up, thanks for your super chat from Willie Merck. Oh, we just got that one. JPP3030 says, Nathan is the absolute king of denial. Next up, thanks for your super chat. Tim Pryor says, you need to do what Jose did. Have them give evidence of flat earth without bringing up the globe whatsoever. It's quite funny.
Falsification of the globe Earth
Talk slow if you're confused. Thank you.
Is independent of replacement.
Craig Montgomery, thanks for your super chat, said, hey, Poop Wit, where's the container?
You're not legally allowed to privately attempt to go find it. So what kind of question is that? Like, again, the gas pressure being here proves physical containment until you can substantiate otherwise. You're not allowed to go there. What a cool story.
Hold on. You're not allowed to go where?
You can't try to privately go to space, can you, McLooney Tunes?
Yes.
No,
Sure
you
you can.
can't. So you don't know what you're
Yeah.
talking about. You're a moron.
Civilians have went up to the ISS, bud.
Who did?
There's what, 7 or 8 civilians? that went to the
Seven
ISS?
different civilians have gone.
Can
Yeah.
I privately try to go to space on my own?
Yes.
You
No,
can't
you
go
can't.
1,000 feet unless you check with the FAA. And
Yeah.
go higher than that, you need clearance. You don't know what the hell you're talking about, dude.
So
No.
needing clearance doesn't mean that they're preventing you. They're just saying you got to ask. You ask, they'll say yeah.
Oh,
If
Unless
they
you're going to do
approve-
something, stupid,
Like you would do.
Like-
Let's just move on.
like Mad Mike
Like you
Hughes.
do every
So
time you speak.
he was going to try to go from Mexico when he was going to do his above the carbon line. So you could go to Mexico and do it, Austin. Go ahead.
Cool story, Magoon.
Cartoon,
Next.
yeah. Carbon line's not real. It's imaginary. You imagine it in your head because you think cartoons.
It's just an arbitrary line. Yep.
What's your claim? Prove it.
imaginary. It's called the.
Where's the Carmen
Space-
line at, Steven? Do you know?
Space Monkey 777, thanks for your super chat, said Mick Toon or MC Toon presents actual measurement in a 1 kilogram PG doc. I think what they meant is
PDF?
1,000 page document. And Nathan goes nuts. But he believes a 1,000 page religious book that says it is flat. What an idiot.
Not a belief. I don't believe the Earth's flat because the Bible says we live under a flat or under a firmament and the Earth is stationary. I've gone outside and tested it with multiple handy dandy cameras, and you can do it yourself. There is no downward Earth curve, and when you try and debate these clowns, they tell you need to understand it's really really big. That's why it's so flat. Durr.
Next up, thanks for your super chat from Craig Montgomery. Maybe clarifying, says, where is a container of gas with all the pressure on one side?
What?
What?
I don't know.
It presses on the walls.
I think the point is, can you demonstrate a container where there's pressure, a high pressure on one side and low pressure on the other side? with
Sure,
no
if
force?
if you want to take a vacuum chamber, you put some gas in it at the surface of that vacuum chamber, and you're constantly introducing gas. Is there going to be a higher concentration of gas at the surface?
There would, and there'd be a 700-mile-an-hour wind inside of it,
Also, if you
according to the
introduce-
second law of thermodynamics.
if you introduce energy in the form of heat to the top of the container, that would cause the gas at the top of the container to expand, and that would cause the molecules at the bottom to compress, creating
Cause higher pressure at the top.
pressure. I know you can't let anyone
we-
fucking talk.
But we don't
Wait.
see
You're a
higher
clown,
pressure at the
Nicholas.
top, Nathan.
You're a clown.
There's
I
lower
know.
pressure. There's
What I
lower
was
pressure at the
saying
top. You
Before
contradicted
you
yourself.
interrupted me, was that
Hold
Well,
on.
I just want to let you contradict
top.
yourself. I want to point that out.
Wait.
No, you're
also
contradicted
have a
yourself.
Pressure
Wait,
gradient in a
Wait,
closed
wait.
container.
Wait.
You clown, McClown.
Okay,
Dude,
let's see.
what-
Dude, you
I-
sound just like Simon Ramos.
Dude,
Next-
listen,
No
yeah.
evidence and just
Moron.
denial. That's all you
Words
have.
out of your mouth.
Spark
Oh.
344, thanks for your super chat. Says Patreon statement: Mark Shuttleworth from South Africa went to space in the late 90s. He was a private citizen.
Yeah, and we haven't done it in 30 years. Really cool story, Glover.
And thanks so much. Appreciate your super chat from dearest friend Red Cosmos Devil. Says, Wit, your words are so empty, it's sad. Just shut up.
Okay, if you cannot follow the simplicity in what I'm saying because they have a couple extra syllables on them, that sounds like a personal problem, Glover.
Next,
Glover.
Tim Pryor, thanks for your super chat, said, tell Nathan he needs to learn the difference between gas pressure and atmospheric pressure, and then prove that atmospheric pressure needs a container.
So all they do is say that the atmospheric pressure is different than gas pressure, and then presuppose that the atmospheric pressure is next to space. Freaking brilliant, guys. Listen to that Glover logic. Let it soak real deep into your soul how retarded that nonsense is.
Next, Aaron Armstrong, thanks for your super chat, said, you flat earth boys are so hot. You made me excited. And they spelled hot Hawt.
Gross.
This guy's a big fan of you guys. All right.
Man,
And
who's this
Syed,
dude? Man,
Nathan's excited. All right, he doesn't care.
I'm
if it's a
single,
dude.
ready to mingle. You know what I mean? On this flat Earth.
Well,
was that from a dude or
that
a?
was from a dude.
Well,
But
that-
next up,
All right,
Syed,
Maybe he's got a
You
cute
do,
sister.
you do.
Maybe
You do whatever you want, Nathan. I guess.
2020. I mean, Nathan's.
Yeah.
Next up, Syed
Whatever.
Ahmad. Thanks for your super chat. Says Austin Isity substantiation natalicity.
Sounds like you're an idiot.
Next, all right. We have our dearest friend, longtime friend of the channel, very sassy. You guessed it. Stupid whore energy strikes again. She says, Whitsitt, I don't think you're familiar with the black swan fallacy. You may want to look into it.
What does that mean, bro? There's a claim of physical geometric horizon. We falsify the radius. Globe is dead. 2020. Get over it. It's no big deal.
Next up, thanks for your super chat. JPP3030 says, space tourism will be common in your life, Nathan.
Yep.
They've been saying that for 40 years. There's a guy who actually tracked every time the government said they were going to do civilian space travel. And after like 20 years, he said, F it. I'm not recording this anymore. They're not sending anyone. You guys are all being tricked.
Gotcha.
But they'll say it again in 4 years after they push it back. They'll come back and tell us, Nathan, we're going soon, I promise. Then they'll push it back again. They'll come back and do it again.
Dude, think about this. Globers can't even go to the beach or the park. And they're like, oh, no, for sure. You're going to go walk around the ISS and freaking play with water. They
This
are
cartoon medium.
freaking clowns,
Didn't I
dude.
send you
They're
the
just
link
clowns.
that
Eight people
SpaceX
have already
doing
done it.
that? But didn't I send you the link from SpaceX about that too earlier today?
About that they're selling seats or what?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't even go to the park or the beach and you think they're selling seats to space, dude.
Yeah, in a cartoon medium. SpaceX gets $400 million from the government. They lie, bro. Just accept it. The government lies. It's not a big deal.
You got evidence of that, or just an empty claim again?
Yeah.
The government lying?
Second law.
No, that particular lie, that exact lie, not just a generic lie.
Well, I don't make a
That
habit
particular
of
one.
trusting provably fraudulent sources that intentionally deceive me openly and admit it.
Okay, so you don't have evidence of the lie. I'll just write that down. Thank you.
It's all
Okay, you don't seem to listen
Fool
very
me,
well.
Nick, dude.
Tim.
Fool me, clown show. Just let them know
Tim.
I said it's all cartoons.
Next, we must keep moving. Tim Pryor, thanks for your super chat, said, "Oh yay, I can play this game. Our evidence is everybody is smarter than you, which is pretty much the entire world disagrees with you." I think they're talking about
Ad hominem and argument from popularity all wrapped into one. Wow, congratulations. You almost had a hat trick for the fallacy team there. Congratulations, dude.
next. Syed,
Yeah, everyone in America used to think slavery was cool. So I guess you would believe slavery was cool until they all got together and said, now you shouldn't like slavery, or maybe you should independently think for information on yourself and empirically validate your beliefs.
Next up, Syed Ahmad, thanks for your super chat, said, "More like Whitsitt doesn't get it. Am I right?"
Yes.
Very
Burn!
creative.
Ow!
Next up, thanks for your super chat from Syed Ahmad, strikes again, says, "Can creepy Natalie come even close to his camera?" That's close enough for me. I guess thanks for your super chats from, let's see here. Sirif says, to the flat earthers, measurements of flatness. Give us numbers of this measurement of flatness.
Yeah, we see 200 miles, 270 miles, 1,000 miles, lasers 27 miles, black swan from 1 foot, we see 9.5 miles. That is the measurements, the distance, void of physical obstruction caused by curvature. It really isn't complicated.
You know what Austin said. Good job.
Next, thanks for your super chat from Space Monkey 7777, said, "Natalie, run out of your mental meds, did you?" I was like, oh, some of these are pretty bad, but it's,
Believe in big pharma. So, like, what are these guys talking about?
oh, that's right. Nathan's all natural, so he takes like pills made out of like grass and stuff, man. Next up, thanks for your
All
super chat. Thank you, Nathan. And Tim Pryor says, Thanks for your super chat. Tim says, Nathan Thompson, tell Flat Earth Millionaire to buy a ticket to go to space to end this debate. I bet he won't.
He'd have to be a real millionaire in the first place. And I asked him to debate me on this channel on whether or not Flat Earth has a dome, and he's a freaking coward who won't do it. And he's like, oh, if I bring a panel, if I can bring my friends to hold my hand in the debate so I don't get embarrassed so badly. So, guys, go bug Flat Earth Millionaire. Get him on here.
Dude, the falling out between you and him. Wow.
Whoa.
What's up with that?
Yeah, I thought you guys were like best friends, man.
Well, he calls me a snow globe tard because I don't believe in multiple suns, and that's anti-Christ. That's anti-biblical, and he's never observed it, and his proof.
Well, he's a blood over intent guy. Come on, you knew that going in.
I didn't know he was supported blood over intent at all.
What does that mean?
No? Oh, come on. Oh, that's a cult thing from what's his name? You know,
Well, you should
the
love
plumber
it.
from Florida.
Wait,
It's in the PDF. It's all in
Dang
there.
it! What?
this
yeah.
is a cult.
You're already part of the
or-
cult. What's the point of not adding another one, bro?
Oh yeah,
We're-
they think that they have the key to get into the middle of the Earth through the North Pole.
Yeah, I think that's all.
They
Yeah,
don't?
and then if enough people do this blood over intent ritual on YouTube, then they can unlock the gate to it. It's Quasi-Luminous. Quasi-Luminous is the guy. Super
Dude, that's
culty,
almost as crazy. There are some people out
Creepy.
there, dude, there are some people out there that believe they live on this crazy tilted cartoon ball brought to them by Jesuit priests.
For just a second, you guys almost agreed. Okay, Tioga, thanks for your super chat. Said 1 flat Earth and 5 betas. Oh, guys, I think she's talking about all of us. What the heck, Tioga? Actually, I have to tell you guys really quick. This is something I'm so excited about. So if you are a huge Marvel fan like me, you will be. I'm so pumped that Tioga is helping us make a sweet Marvel intro for Modern Day Debate, which is going to be so fun. Okay, B-Ball for Life, thanks for your super chat. Said
Batman.
Nathan.
DC.
Oh, nice. I can't blame you. Nathan, B-Ball for Life says, Nathan, how is there 24 hours of darkness in northern Alaska during the winter?
That's very easy to explain. See, as the sun goes around polar center, sometimes it's around the Tropic of Cancer. Sometimes it's around the Tropic of Capricorn. The path expands and contracts. That's why we have a sun analemma that is lopsided, but also the points on the sun analemma are not equidistant to one another in the north and south, because it's a longer circumference in the south than it is in the north. So sometimes you're in the north and the sun moves away and you go, oh my God, it's dark outside. I must live on a ball. No, that's not how it works, okay? The sun moved away from you and now you have no sunlight. Pretty soon it'll eventually move back because the wheel in the sky keeps on turning. We all live in a yellow submarine.
Gotcha. And thanks for, sorry, it might be buffering a little bit out there, folks. It'll just be the video, but more than I like, so sorry about that in advance. I'm dropping frames in Streamlabs. We got that one. Whiz Bang, thanks for your super chat, said, hey, Nathan, hope you have a nice night. Also, the Earth is a globe. Also, what's under that hat? You're hiding something from the YouTube audience. Wow.
Yep, just hiding a bunch of healthy, soft hair.
What a luscious head of hair. You have
I've been
there.
in quarantine.
Wow.
I haven't been able to cut it recently.
That's like
but
unusually luscious.
No problem.
Next up, Jordan Smith.
Dude,
Thanks.
Steven's got that down here.
Very
Look how
true.
luscious that is.
Very luscious. And Jordan Smith, thanks for your super chat, says, no wonder Squeak is obsessed with SpongeBob. Oh, that's right, because SpongeBob is a gay icon, I heard. So, what
I
is
didn't know
Squeak? Is that that's your nickname, Nathan?
I never heard that one before. That's a new one. I mean, they got probably hundreds of them for me. These guys have hundreds of pictures of me on their phone. I wonder what their girlfriend thinks when they go through their phone and like, who's this dude you have
Right.
photos of?
You're just you're assuming they have girlfriends. And why do we got to sexualize cartoons?
How dare you? Oh, okay. Now, Anamorphic Mind, thanks for your super chat, says, thank you, Bob, for proving the Earth has a 15-degree drift every hour. Is that true?
Are there actually people that come to every flat Earth debate and say that same thing over and over? It's retarded. He actually went to different elevations, showing that it seems to be a different causality of derivation, such as potentially movement within the ether field or a drift. So presupposing causality isn't how science works.
Where did he publish this?
That isn't how a gyro works.
You should just sit on the sideline, bro.
Next,
So
Space Monkey 7777 says gravity is a myth. The Earth sucks. Natalie 101. I don't understand. But Mickey Rush, thanks for your super chat, said, so mead/honey is vegan now? Nathan, that's right.
Oh, snap.
Nathan, you've been called out.
Honey is not vegan.
You can't
Yeah,
steal that honey from bees,
dead
Nathan.
animals. I don't eat dead animals or like excretions that contain pus and blood, like milk designed for baby cows. But I'm not like one of those vegans that thinks honey is like a bad thing or whatever. You know, we have discrepancies there, but definitely no animal flesh going in this mouth.
Oh, it's late. I didn't realize. We got to speed through these last questions. Thank you for your super chat from Sphere Itself, who says, James, it's been a while. Yup, you're still sexy. Had to read that one. I mean, come on. Thanks for that, Sphere Itself. Stupid Horror Energy, thanks for your super chat. Said, Nathan, show some man boob and I'll tip you more.
No.
It's really
No.
not necessary. You don't
No.
have
I have the direct PayPal link for all that business. I'm just kidding.
Okay, next up, Jessica G, thanks for your super chat, says synthetic medicine isn't the only thing Whitsitt isn't into. He's also highly against a toothbrush, toothpaste, and dentists. Wow, you're extreme, Whitsitt.
Snap.
Next up,
You got fine yet white teeth, bro. I don't know what the hell you're talking
he has a nice grill. You have great teeth. Okay, Gabrielle K, thanks for your super chat, said, I want more debates on biochem. That was awesome. We can do that, and we will. Decepticons Forever, thanks for your super chat, said, detailed description about the firmament, please.
So we have star trails, firmament, celestial navigation, stationary northern pole stars, sprites, mushroom clouds, halos, sundogs, rainbows are dome shaped. I mean, do you want me to just give you another 10 proofs there? Guys,
Yeah.
come on.
Yeah, Globers, that's your homework. Go home and explain all of those things without a firmament.
God,
Done.
yeah. And
Yeah, Mattoon. Yeah, we know. You got it.
next up, thanks for your super chat from Decepticons Forever, said, detailed description. Oh, we got that. Nimsum, thank you, says, Nathan, I want an answer. Why no tornadoes at the equator?
Well, you know, to be honest, I haven't really looked that much into tornadoes since I saw that wonderful movie Twister back in the day. But hurricanes, you know, they spin opposite directions because of an electromagnetic wake effect from the sun and the moon moving around the equator. So if you just take your hand and run through a pool and observe the shadows underneath the vortices move in opposite directions. So that could be, and I'm just spitballing here, I'm not positive, why directly at the equator we don't see these vortices of tornadoes happening. But I don't know, I'm not 100% positive on that. I haven't done too much research on tornadoes. I've been too busy taking a dump on the globe and showing there's no earth curve.
Next, thanks for your super chat. That was a great mental image. Next, John Robertson says, explain 180 degrees of sunlight on equinoxes.
Yeah, the earth is flat, and then during an equinox, 180 degrees of sunlight. So you got to look at the floor, Glover. You got to stop looking at the sky and acting ignorant or confused, okay? Because the floor is flat. Don't look at the sky like make a cartoon over here.
So no answer. Super.
Floor
Next.
is measurably flat.
John Robertson, thanks for your other super chat. No question attached. Appreciate your support. And Alan H, thanks for your super chat, said, Nathan, how much is a drop of 7.7 from 63360 inches to the fourth power? I'm embarrassed.
Shut up.
I don't know what that means. Next up, thanks for your super chat. John Rapp says, no evidence again from Nathan, the unfunniest clown.
I just gave you 10 proofs of a firmament like 30 seconds ago. You want proof that the earth doesn't move? It's called no Coriolis, Aries failure, Michelson-Morley. You want proof that it doesn't curve? The United States Coast Guard has a geographic range table. We see too far, laser test, infrared, I mean, you're kidding, right? I mean, I literally am like an encyclopedia.
Just claims. Yeah, just you're an encyclopedia of claims with no evidence.
That is called
John Rapp is
self-projection.
right.
That's what he thinks.
As the guy with the cartoon.
hold on a second. I
rotating
cannot
in-
just to let people know. I have to wrap up really quick here to keep a promise. So,
Wrap it up, B.
Nathan. So if you please do me a favor, don't send any more questions or super chats because we can't read any more than what we already got. So we're gonna speed through these last ones. Thanks for your super chat. B-Ball for Life says, Nathan and Whitsitt, why doesn't the higher pressure at the bottom of Mount Everest move to the lower pressure at the top of Mount Everest?
We've already explained there's a plethora of variance of factors, okay? Higher concentration because of introduction of gas at the surface level. We would need to also heat plays a factor, weather patterns. We would also need to know the characteristics of the containments, like the electrostatic characteristics, to understand the dissipation.
And different element densities of elements in the atmosphere too could contribute to all of that other stuff Austin just said. So yeah,
Must move quickly. Nathan, Whizbang, thanks for your super chat, said, I would love to see a debate between G-Man and Darth and going against Nathan and Austin on Flat Earth. James's mouse would explode from hitting mute so much. That might be true. Syed Ahmad, thanks for your super chat, said, synthetic medicine might fix Austin's teeth. What are you talking about? I already told you Austin has great teeth. Next up, Brian
No, I
Stevens.
haven't chipped tooth. That's what they're talking about.
Next up, Brian Stevens, thanks for your super chat, said, Nathan is right. Cops aren't treating the sick. Next, B-Ball for Life, thanks for your super chat, said, just checked Whitsitt's channel, not one observation, experiment, or test of the curvature of the Earth, appealing to other flat earthers.
No, yeah. Falsification of your claimed metrics, hence the radius, hence the implosion of the globe Earth. I don't know why it's so complicated.
Next up, thanks for your super chat, 8-Bit Deadpool says, Nathan, do you remember the evidence given at the Salton Sea? The evidence that you denied even though you were there to witness the experiment.
Bro, the Discovery Channel showed a boat with different color lines on it, and they said that the Earth curve was obstructing the lines for the boat, but the horizon was above the boat in the background. So they said that the physical, actual geometric horizon was obstructing the boat, but you could see the horizon above the boat in the background. I mean, yeah, I was there. I was there to laugh at National Geographic, lie to all you guys, and watch how gullible you are. Talk about it years later because you're lost in the space sauce. I feel sorry for you.
Next up, thanks for your super chat from Tim Pryor says, so since he admits we don't need a tape measure for altitude of airplanes, then he should know we should be able to measure the distance to the sun. What an idiot. Nathan?
Yeah, you can't.
Deduction is not a measurement. You can deduce things. It's not a measurement, okay?
Next, debate flat.
And they presuppose things, James. I think that's what Austin was going to say.
Yeah.
Presuppose.
That's all he says.
Next.
Yeah, because that's all you
It's his
do.
favorite thing.
Uh,
It's his favorite word.
Because that's what you do.
That's being.
Next, debate flat earth and more. Thanks for your super chat, said, Modern Day Debate, does Whitsitt Gets It have the potential to recognize the necessary antecedent of a Nathan Oakley catchphrase? Not even. I don't know
Yeah,
what that
cool
means.
story. I know a lot of you Glovers are incapable of independent critical assessment and an ability to articulate yourselves well. So you just assume that anyone that can do those things must be copying other people. But some of us just aren't morons.
Next up, thanks for your super chat from Lael is Fun, said, Nathan, do you know the cultural meaning the Hebrew phrases in the Bible?
Oh, like how NASA means to deceive in Hebrew or to greatly beguile?
Have you asked a native Hebrew speaker? Because you're wrong.
Oh, have you asked? I don't need to talk to a dude. You can just read the Strong's Concordance Bible and clearly see in the Bible.
I have.
You want to interrupt me again, McToon?
Yeah, absolutely,
Clown?
because you're lying.
Poor
baby.
NASA means to lift, according to native Hebrew speakers.
I haven't.
What does immovable and fixed mean?
I'll give you like 8 seconds, Nathan.
Yeah, of course. I've got the video of it saying in the Strong's Concordance Bible. I just hope it's on this.
Yeah,
phone.
there's a diacritic mark above the S that gives it an SH sound. It's a different letter in Hebrew.
Oh, it's a different
Ask-
letter. Oh,
ask-
okay. Oh,
Ask a native Hebrew speaker.
Oh.
They'll laugh at you.
all right, cool.
Even flat earth native speakers of Hebrew will
James,
laugh
go
at
ahead
you.
and to my other phone, but NASA in the Strong's Concordance Bible means
NASHA.
Bible.
Yes.
No, that's
Well, it's just the S,
Sound.
but it has.
According to a
No,
Hebrew speaking flat earther, you're wrong.
Whatever. You're
The
not a
spelling
Hebrew
is the
scholar.
same as
We must
NASA.
keep
It
moving.
means
I'm not going to pretend you're an expert on this. You're a clown, dude.
I next must move on. Thanks for your super chat from Trolling for Truth. Says Nathan and Whitsitt, Flatty Gang, keeping it flat as F. Garth Cooks, thanks for your super chat. No question, but appreciate the support. The Plot Hole, thanks for your super chat. Said Natalie, you never worked. Next up, Aaron Armstrong, thanks for your Aaron Armstrong, thanks for your super chat. Said Steven vaping in bed? Seriously? Listen, I already told you he looks really seductive. Like, let it be. Only sheeple can't see. Thanks for your super chat. I love you guys. Only sheeple can't see. Says
Yo, Round Thinker.
have the flat.
Dude, Round Thinker is a native Hebrew speaker. He's in the chat right now. He speaks Hebrew from birth. Does NASA mean, what does NASA mean, Round Thinker?
you're exhausting.
Next.
I know, you get tired when you lose. Yeah.
Next
No,
up.
it's just a different symbol. It's spelled the same.
No,
So
I'm
you would
sorry.
think
You're not a native Hebrew speaker. So let's
It's
let
spelled the same.
native
It's
Hebrew.
spelled the same.
Let's let the native Hebrew speaker answer the question.
Next up.
See who's lying.
We must keep moving. So sorry to do this,
All right.
but only sheeple can't see. Says having the flat Earth side explain why the moon changes orientation between hemispheres, then get the actual coherent answer from the globe side, please. Okay, so why does the moon change orientation between hemispheres?
Very simple, guys. Draw a 6 on the roof of your room and walk to the other side of the room. That 6 will change orientation into a 9. That does not prove you're on a spinning, tilted cartoon testicle.
Gotcha. We'll go to the globe side.
I have no problem with that.
Next up, thanks for
He's
your super chat from Leapin' for Jay. Thanks for your super chat. Said MC Toon has no idea. He's a compulsive liar.
Ooh.
Next up, Grimlock.
But I
thanks
have
for-
evidence.
Grimlock, thanks for your super chat. Said just got here. How much has Nathan abused SpongeBob? Not too much tonight. Next up, Garth Cooks.
Not-
Thanks for
not
your
much.
thanks for your super chat. Said flat Earth, flat minds. Oh. Next up, Reverend Arrow. Thanks for your super chat. Said Flurfs explain the atmospheric pressure gradients.
We've already done that like 3 times.
We live in a closed dynamic system. The gas is inhomogeneous and anisotropic, constantly moving around because we have air being introduced at the surface and heat and energy being introduced at the top.
Next up, Aaron Armstrong. Thanks for your super chat. Said, Steven, wake up, loser. I'm a baller. Gotcha. Steven's awake. He's trying to seduce you. Next up, Chef Allen. Thanks for your super chat. Said, do Nate and Nitwit know we're here to laugh at them?
Yeah. Did you know the theory of relativity was a reification fallacy that attributes physical properties to conceptual abstractions and a privation?
Gotcha.
You know, all the people who told you Earth's a globe are laughing at you because they think you're gullible and stupid and you guys give them money and none of it's true.
And you don't even understand the conceptual backing for your religion?
Almost done. So sorry. We were gonna keep wrapping up quickly, folks. RT96. Thanks for your super chat. Said slaves in America never thought slavery was cool. That
How enlightening
makes
of you.
sense. And Tim Pryor, thanks for your super chat. Said, "Hey, idiot! I said that because you said you're the top leader of flat earthers. Over 100 and some thousand people, and 1,000 people. Get it? Got it? Good."
I never said
Cool
I'm
story.
top leader. I just said I started the largest group. That doesn't mean like I'm some top leader. They are members of the group. They don't follow me. They're not fans or subscribers of Nathan Thompson. They are members of the official Flat Earth and Globe discussion. Thank
Okay.
you very much.
Next up, the plot hole. Thanks for your super chat. Said, Natalie, how's that blood drinking working for you?
Excellent. This one's a triple dry hopped IPA with 10%. It's delicious.
Now we're talking. All right. Abyssinth, thanks for your super chat. Said, Natalie, I don't believe the earth is flat because of the Bible. Also, Natalie, I don't believe in two suns because of the Bible. Shaking my head.
Cool.
Natalie. Okay. Well, Hugh Jars, thanks for your super chat. We've only got 1, 2, 3, 4 here left, so we're gonna cruise through. And thanks for your patience, folks. Nathan, or Hugh Jars says, Nathan, what makes the sun move faster in the southern hemisphere? Summer. It has further to go, so it must be faster. So why don't we see it do that?
We do. I talked about earlier how the sun analemma is not equidistant on both the north and the southern loops, and the loops in the north are smaller than loops in the south. So yeah, it's speeding up. What makes it do that? You guys are, it's like, Nathan, when you made the sky, how did you make the sun do this? I don't know, guys. It's like, I know what we can observe and what we can test, not how it all works. I didn't make the sky.
Next up, Willie Merck, thanks for your super chat, said, we know gravity exists because old boobs are droopy. Nathan Thompson, please explain.
Well, if gravity exists, then I'd be attracted to fat women, and I'm not. I'm attracted to skinny people that are in shape. So there you go. Gravity debunked.
Garth Cooks, thanks for your super chat. And Tim Pryor, thanks for your super chat, said, I can make a rainbow with my garden hose. What's your point?
Yeah, you can't do it indoors, and the rainbows are always dome-shaped. Thank you very much.
Oh,
Gabriel K, thanks for your super chat.
Indoors. You can do it indoors. Okay, go ahead.
Gabriel K said, turn around your hat, Nathan, to convince me.
Turn around every now
I'm
and then.
confused.
A little bit closer.
To convince them. Of
No. Next super chat.
Hold on 1 second. I just got something switched on me. We have one more from, I think it's from Flat Earth Debate. Thank you, Flat Earth Debate, who said, 1 second, loading. They said, it's Flat Earth Data, and they said, what causes the apparent junction of the sky and ground? Angular resolution limit of the eye or Earth curvature? What do you think, MC Tool?
He spelled my name wrong? Oh, my. Well, yeah, it's the edge of the horizon, the edge of the sphere. So I challenged him to debate on Facebook. He kind of ran off. So Flat Earth Data, bring it on. My email address, mctoon@mctoon.net. Let's set up that debate.
Gotcha.
And there I got it right there. McClown Show, NASA in the Strong's Concordance Bible means to beguile or greatly deceive. And in 1 second, I will scroll back.
What's right above? What's above the S? What's above the S there?
Multiple meanings, but it's NASA, and it means
round thinker. The native Hebrew speaker said it means. Hold on. The native Hebrew speaker, round thinker, says to lift,
you should just
to
say,
count,
sorry, I was wrong.
to marry, and to travel.
To finish us
So when
off.
McCoon says, ask this guy in the chat. Ask this guy in the chat. The dictionary says.
Just take a breath.
It means
Give me 1
to
second.
lie.
Please don't make me mute. Okay. Tim Pryor, thanks for your super chat.
I don't care. I just want to show how stupid this guy is. He's a clown.
Chill out. Okay, Tim Pryor, thanks for your super
I'm
chat.
very chill. Very relaxed. I am very freaking relaxed. You know how happy I am? I just showed this clown that's in the Strong's Concordance Bible.
Okay, so Tim Pryor, thanks for your super chat, said, okay, then, so I have billions of people, including the world's most brilliant idiot, on my side. Okay, well, I'm confused by that, but we want to say thanks so much for all of your support, folks, through super chats and just hanging out with us, just being here. I'm not joking, folks. You're not going to believe me. I'm dead serious when I say this. We are currently setting up 2 debates that will shake the foundations of both. One of them will shake the foundations of like religion debates on YouTube, and one will shake the foundations of political debates. Like, Lord willing, we'll see. We're setting these up, but by that I mean we're in talks with the people. So like these are like big time debates that they're going to knock your socks off. So really appreciate it, folks. If you enjoyed tonight's debate, feel free to hit that like button on the way out. And just want to say thanks so much. We hope you have a great rest of your night. All of our speakers are linked in the description, so if you want to hear more from them, you absolutely can. So thanks one last time. Appreciate our guests. Thank you, guys. We really appreciate you being here with us.
James, MC Toon has an after show coming up.
You got it. I can link that in the description. Just send it to me via email.
Sure.
Thanks, guys. Have a great night. Keep sifting out the reasonable
from
the unreasonable, everybody. Take care.